got scared because I got apple cider right on the iPad screen.
And that is on the internet
fine.
right now.
Oh, fuck you!
Awesome.
You're a dead man.
Welcome on that great note. Sarah's not drinking beer. She's drinking apple cider.
Yeah, I spilled it everywhere like a fucking 5-year-old. Hello, internet.
Well, you basically are a fucking 5-year-old, so
You're right.
Oh, we're coming in harsh to start with.
We are.
I'm so sorry.
Wow.
Christian startled me, and then that means I get angry with him. I'm so sorry.
Just
Wow.
our thing.
Oh, love
Welcome
you.
to Invisible Sun. First
Yeah.
session, which we promise will be
Oh.
probably as chaotic, but hopefully not off the rails as last sessions where we created characters. But again, Invisible Sun, Monty Cook Games. It's a game of surreal magical fantasy. So it's going to be weird. I'm going to go back to doing some trigger warnings. We used to do those all the time. I'm going to get back to doing them again with this game because I think it's appropriate. Surrealism's strange. It can go to some pretty dark places. Role-playing games are very improvisational. I don't know where things are going. So trigger warning, possible weirdness. I will tell you that Troy's head is indeed huge. That's already in the chat.
Somebody say that?
Yes.
That's so funny.
And I don't even remember where I was. I just got derailed already. Oh,
Yeah.
it's strange. We're going to get strange. We're going to get weird. This game will go to some pretty dark places, probably. So be aware of that. And also, it's me.
I can guarantee
so,
there will be cannibalism.
yes, we can multiple times.
Yes, there's
so
a
trigger warning,
warning for you.
cannibalism. Trigger warning. It's
For
me.
sure.
So there we go. Let's get started. Sarah still there?
Sarah,
Oh,
Oh no, she just blacked out
yeah.
the camera. She's cool.
Yeah,
All right,
she's
cool,
still there.
All right, so let's get started.
she's
before
cleaning
we-
up her cider
No,
mess.
she's cleaning up her mess.
Oh.
Let's get started. Just go around and introduce characters. Who wants to go first? No game is complete without cannibalism. You're absolutely right.
Hi, I'm Frey. I'm a cannibal.
Speaking of, here's our resident cannibal.
I am an apostate, so I was in the Order of Goetica, learning as a very, very new initiate and novice in our Sarah's character and I, whose name I cannot remember at the moment. In character.
Bridget.
Bridget and I went to undergrad together at the College of Goetica, and I got kicked out for eating demons. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. I don't boast about it or try to like frequent that, but it made a pretty big scandal, when I got caught and expelled and all that. So now I don't need no order. Fuck you guys. I can do this myself. My way's better anyway. I live in a spooky graveyard. The entrance to my home is an underground cathedral-like space that can be entered through any number of tombs within the graveyard. And I am haunted by a very judgmental Nona. Who
Nona
is
the
my
Ninth.
roommate, sort of. But I am an iconoclast, and I am on a revenge quest against a cult that killed my mother. Yeah, I don't know. That's my summary is very disorganized. I'm still actively selecting spells, so cheers.
Yeah, a lot of the nails are being driven into this whole facade.
Yeah.
as we
Very
speak.
complicated game.
In-
Yeah, it's
in
a
the
very
first-
complicated
yeah.
game. Yeah.
All right.
Rainey, you want to go next?
Sure. I am playing Darcy and Ebb. They are a aquatic looking humanoid shape. You can see their like the
So when you
edges of
say
their skin.
aquatic, you mean absolutely just basically like a water.
Yeah, they look like a water elemental kind of, but in a human form. So they have fingers, they have a face, they have everything. The top half of their head is a 4-inch diameter orb that they were gifted and went to a changery to have implanted into basically where their brain would be.
They
and
ponder in their orb.
they ponder in and of and with their orb at all times. That is actually my character arc, is to uncover a secret, or what was it? I think it's uncover a secret.
Of the legacy,
Yeah,
isn't it? Yeah.
related to the legacy, right? Which is
Which
the,
I'll get into what that is. Yeah. I'll
yeah.
cover it.
So Darcian is very fluid. I took one of my minor magics was quick change. I can immediately change my outfit. Just right out a snap of a finger, because Darcy is all things intelligence. They are an Order of the Vance, second degree Order of the Vance, so they are a traditional wizard, very academic. They believe, everything can be studied to the point where you fully understand it, and because of that, they believe that all magic is alive and living. Therefore, it is no minor or light thing to cast a spell. You are creating a living thing when you do that. That's how big of a deal magic is to Darcian. So they like to approach things from all different angles, and they use every means by which they can do that, either by pacing around their strange, hidden, abandoned wing of a university in the Actuality that they now call home, which has strange windows to other places where I have a thief, some kind of like extra dimensional thief that comes by and just steals stuff, as well as Jess's character, who comes in random doors and crashes on the couch. But yeah, Darcian's an academic, a nerd who is pondering their orb.
Nerd.
Big time. Did I miss anything? I think that covers
I think you got it all, man.
He was
Yeah.
pondering.
They are starting in a very nice petticoat and jacket with long coattails, slim fitting trouser pants, and nice dress shoes.
Wow, fancy.
Nice.
He is a professor, or they are a professor. That is their day job.
Yeah, Order of the Vance and Order of the Getica are both very academic. The most Vances are the most academic. In Invisible Sun, there are several orders. We have almost all of them represented. Order of Getica is the demon summoners. So they're very concerned with like pacts with ancient entities and summoning demons or other entities. Order of the Vance is your typical wizards who actually memorize spells and cast them, just like a certain other world's most popular role-playing game. Apostates, like Amber's character, just say fuck y'all and go off and do their own thing. And then we have some other ones we'll learn about. We also have makers. Nobody's playing a maker. They actually make magical items. And then we have a couple other ones we'll learn about.
I looked into that after and was like, damn, I would have loved to have played a maker,
but I
even though
would've
it's so
fucking
confusing.
Killed you because we'll be here for like 6 hours.
Fun fact, like those character sheets are literally mathematical equations. Like there's math equations in there. Yeah, it's crazy. It's nuts. Makers are wild.
Sarah, why don't you tell us about Bridget?
Okay. Shit. Hi. I was distracted because
Is your iPad okay?
My desk is still sticky, and part of my case is, and I was literally about to say I gotta go clean it. It's really bad.
Clip that.
Fuck you! God, I hate everyone and everything.
Horrible mind.
Everything is wrong. Okay. It's fine.
We can skip over if you want.
No, I'm gonna be chaotic and then I'll go clean.
Oh, goodness.
So I'm in a place tonight. I'm so sorry. I am playing Bridget. Bridget is part of the Order of Goetica. The Order of Goetica tends to have two kind of sides to it. You're either the right-hand path, which is interested in angels and celestial entities, or you are the left-hand path, which is interested in demons. Bridget's a demon person. That's what she follows. But it is also because she hosts a legion. There are 3 demons that coexist inside her body with her. It is a peaceful agreement. They all just kind of live there. And they all just kind of live together. It's the weirdest roommate situation in their house, which is very weird. The only way to get into it is it's basically a door lying flat on the ground at the top of a hill, and then you just walk downwards into it.
That's awesome.
It is them and then Samuel the rat. Samuel he's just a normal rat, but for some reason Bridget can speak to him because her magic is weird. She always looks a little burnt, her hands and her feet particularly, and always wears the same dress. Think of it as kind of a typical what's the word? A good colonial American
Puritan,
Puritan
like the Crucible
dress. Yeah, definitely no hints as to who she was in the shadow or anything. She's got kind of medium length hair and faded blue eyes most of the time. and she's just a little awkward. She's trying her best. Her goal is to eventually, and she's been fretting over it for a long time, to find a way to change her body so that it is a form that her and all three of the demons that live inside her feel comfortable in and happy about.
So it's like Three's Company.
You're getting a bigger
with
flat for
demons.
yourself and all your roomies.
Yeah, like they all take turns pop into the front from time to time. They all just want to like how they look, but they're just stuck with this for now because they can't decide and they have no money to go to a changery.
And Bridget and or some of her demons got a thing for Darcian, right?
Yes.
That's our relationship.
It is a poorly kept secret, probably obvious to everyone but Darcian.
Yeah, they're not clued in on that kind of intelligence.
Yeah, Bridget is very awkward. So she doesn't really talk well about it, but she does. And then Bridget and Amber's character were former classmates in the Order of Goetica, so they studied together and still have a pretty decent relationship, even since she has left the Order.
Sweet.
And now I'm gonna go clean up more apple cider. Oh God.
Yes, you're next.
Yes, not last. Hi.
That's funny.
I am playing Henrietta. She is a weaver, and I don't think we've talked really about weavers
have not.
yet, but weavers are basically a class that use, I don't even know how to describe them, categories of raw magic, and they just weave different aspects of their categories together for their
That's cool.
spells.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that. I have sleep, wind, and infinity.
Nice.
And I have different like limitations
dope.
for that I'm very excited. We'll see. Henry is she looks like a walking constellation in kind of human form. She is very like wistful, and she's kind of she's very much a daydreamer. She kind of is just traveling the world. She has no home. That's why she ends up on Darcian's couch quite often. She's just wandering the world, and she's out seeking this true love that she met in a dream. She doesn't know who, what, or where they are, but she is out seeking them out. And I have a rivalry with Istanbul to find a key, hopefully to help me in my quest. And
Specific sort of key, yeah.
Yes, and I have a connection with Darcian, which I don't exactly know. Darcian is my caretaker. I have no home. I don't know if we eat in this game, but we don't. Well, some of us do.
Some people have, some Vizsla have to eat, some don't. Yeah, I have here, our bond is, Henry is my project. She gets +1 to dodge when I'm around, and I get -1 to dodge when she's around.
Darcian is my mom.
Yeah, I see you. I see you as a responsibility.
Fitting, because Darcian's very like kind of buttoned down sort of character, even though they're water.
Very responsible.
And, yeah.
But I'm also, I'm an empath. I'm a wave heart, so like I am an emotional person, but I'm also analytical in that I'm a Vance. But Darcian, also, I think that they really like Henry just because of like, you have so much cool stuff. Like you're a galaxy person, right? So we share this kind of like weird humanoid form thing going on. And when you speak, aren't runes?
Yeah, I breathe
physical
runes
things
into the air. Yeah.
Yeah, Darcian is all about that.
That is really cool, actually.
Like you're so much fun to just interact with and study that they don't care that you crash on their couch, and they just want to make you better.
Nice. Nice. And that is Henry.
Nice. Istanbul, you're last.
Alrighty. So my character's name is Istanbul. I am more or less like a minotaur, except I have the lower body of a human as well. I just have like the head of a bull. I frequently work at a very high-end, like, I almost think of it kind of like a mixture between like a speakeasy and a club. It's called Constantinople, which I thought was pretty funny. So I'm a bouncer there, and because of that, I'm well connected. I'm kind of like everybody knows me from the club, and I'm kind of neutral territory. So I get along very well with people. I typically don't cause trouble. I stop trouble from being caused. I am a stoic. I'm of the order stoic. And I'm a weaver. Sorry, I'm of the order weaver, and my heart is that of a stoic. One thing about Istanbul is he is deaf. So his character is incredibly perceptive, but he also perceives the world in a very different way than a lot of other people do. So people's nonverbal communications, their body language, maybe even the way that they smell, just little things that he picks up on that other people don't, give him information about the world around him. His house is pretty dope. So he lives upstairs from the club, and it's a very small like loft. It's like a bachelor pad. It has like a couch and what are those things called? Not an immersion thing.
Sensory deprivation tank.
He has a sensory deprivation tank. Yes. And he also, the house has a giant like megaphone thing. It's like an old record player is what it looks like. And that megaphone just grabs sound and noise from all around and just translates it into vibration. And inside of his apartment, it's quiet, like there's no noise, but everything is vibrating, which would like drive people crazy.
Yeah.
He is fated companions with Frey, who he calls Flay. I think that's pretty much it. My quirk is, I guess, pretty cool. So I actually made my quirk up. My quirk is this. When I observe someone, I am instantly privy to a truth or a fact about them that I would otherwise not possibly know. And as soon as I am observed by them, I immediately forget this fact or truth.
Mm.
So I thought that was pretty
cool. I do
cool.
love the quirks. They're very funny.
I would love at some point in this game for Istanbul to share what our character smells tell them about us.
I would imagine what he can determine is, you know how like
Abstract.
certain creatures can smell pheromones and stuff like that. I would imagine he probably can smell pheromones. So
I
like,
just
Yeah.
smell crispy.
yeah,
Just a little burnt.
Frey smells like meat. Darcy smells like water.
and garlic bread.
And
It
Jess
smells like garlic bread.
I smell like
Space.
water. I
Yeah,
smell like water.
you are water.
Is that always
Just like a
garlic
living
bread?
puddle.
What is that?
Garlic bread. Oh goodness.
Yeah, and I think other than that, in the shadow, my character was a small boy who lived in kind of like a war-torn area that was bombed, and his family and city and everything that he loved was destroyed.
Including his mother.
Including his mother,
that's a
and
big
that's
point.
part of the reason he is searching for one of those keys. Is he wants to essentially communicate with her one more time. So he also has a weird bionic leg thing. His leg is very shriveled and like decrepit and rotting and falling apart, but it has this weird like metal alloy inside of it. And I like to think of it like the adamantium that like Wolverine has that runs through his body. So it's like incredibly strong and resilient. Except different from that is when he's not actively like using that, it's like a limp noodle. So yeah. What was the joke that you made before, Christian? He can think himself to be hard on command or something like that.
Look,
It sounds like something I would say.
Yeah.
I don't remember saying that.
we all know it's just secretly a jelly gun. Like we all know it.
Yeah, exactly. Takes it off, snipes somebody, puts it back on.
Are we talking jelly gun like the cowboy from the Island of Misfit Toys? Like where it's just a gun that shoots jelly?
Shoots jelly. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
meant. Yeah, yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the Misfit Toys gets brought up a lot on this stream.
Dude, Island of Misfit Toys is fucking iconic.
It is. It is.
Kind
it
of
is.
is, yeah.
Not wrong.
Kind of is.
You're
So-
right, but you also don't know any other pop culture.
It's true.
She's stuck in
Leave
the
her
60s
alone.
or
She's
whatever.
5. Yeah. So, just to set the stage a little bit too, the action or the game takes place in a very surreal setting. So, the background story of that is that the reality that we know is not real. It's a shadow. I don't know what that face is, but okay.
I know. What is
Amber,
Amber
I know,
struggling
what-
with?
I'm sorry. I'm
She's focused in reading. Let her.
yeah, go continue.
Okay. Okay. So
It
a
is
shadow.
funny.
Shadow is our reality. Our reality is a lie. It's an illusion. And is specifically a place that the people from the real world, called the Actuality, ran to. So the Actuality is a very, very magical place. Thought and intention and ideas and philosophies are much more tangible and real there than things that we think about here, like the table that's in front of me, or a desk, or the computer, or the camera that's looking at me right now. All those things are false in the Actuality. But there was a huge ass war in the Actuality, and all the people who could use magic, who call themselves Vizsla, ran and hid in shadow. And while they were in shadow, they forgot about the truth. And a lot of them stayed there for a very long time while the war raged on. The war was tremendously, tremendously destructive, but it's over now, and people are gradually waking up and returning to the Actuality, particularly the biggest city in the Actuality, which is called Satyrine. And in Satyrine, there are several different suns. Each sun has a different color, which represents a different aspect of magic, which is just another wonderful, complex thing that goes along with this game. So you think in the middle here, you see these two symbols. That's a path of suns. We couldn't fit it all on. But when you play, you lay these cards like on the path of suns, and it's actually influences the spells you cast. We'll go over that in a little bit. But everybody here was somebody different in shadow. Now, Troy said Istanbul was a little boy. Bridget was actually a witch that was burned at the stake. Henrietta was a prisoner, I think you said.
Yep.
Frey was a coroner. Darcy was what you were like a 1920s like
Call it.
Yeah, he was an early 20th century, late 19th century, basically Egyptian tomb robber, but for knowledge. One of those
knowledge.
awful people.
It belongs in a museum.
Exactly.
Your shadow life sounds so cool still too.
So, but they've all woken up and they've returned to Satyrine, and the Saturn City that they found is very, very different, because this is a city that at one point in time might have had a population of 10 or 20 million people, and it is now completely destroyed for the most part, with the exception of several neighborhoods. And the neighborhoods are all spaced out very far from each other, and in between are something called the ruined expanses, where there are actually weapons still in existence called hate cysts, because the weapons that were used in this war were not weapons of the way we would think of them, like bombs and guns, but they're actually like weapons of hate or time or anger or despair, like actual emotions or ideas were used as weapons. And they're still infecting those parts of the city. And it's not uncommon to be somewhere in the Actuality in Satyrine, and even though it's a city, be the only person on the street, because there's just not that many people left. As a matter of fact, the most populous city in all of the Actuality is Catafalque, which is in the Pale Sun, which is the realm of the dead, which means that there are more dead people living than there are living people. So the war
Makes
was bad.
sense.
The war was bad, but it's over, is what we need to know. And all the Vizsla have returned, and they specifically have their own neighborhood called Fartown, which is a pocket dimension part of the city of Satyrine. So that's what we're going to pick up, actually. Who wants to start? Because we're going to introduce some characters here.
Where are we starting?
Depends on who you are.
Ooh, so you have like a idea for each of us?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh.
I would imagine I know where I'm starting. So I'm starting in the club. I would say we are what do you want it to be, like daytime, nighttime, Christian? What time of day is it?
Who wants to go first?
He knows where you are. Somebody just needs to go first.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so we
Rainy?
are
Rainy's
cleaning up. Or Rainy, do you want to go ahead and
No, you're taking the lead. Go for it, man.
Yeah, you
Istanbul,
go,
what's up?
Istanbul. All you.
What's up, Istanbul?
all right, so
Most
Istanbul,
prepared among us go first.
Yeah.
you just you see Istanbul, and he is slowly walking down a dimly lit corridor, and he's kind of limping a little bit, and I guess like the camera angle, you can't really see anything below like his chest level.
Mm-hmm.
And he just has this deadpan set face, and he has like just a little bit of blood that's dripping from his face, and you get to see a little bit more light, and you hear some faint noises and stuff coming up from up ahead, and he just looks fucking tired and just over it. And before you know it, he turns down a corridor and there's a small door, and he's overwhelmed with the smell of like, I don't know, garbage, maybe something to that effect, alcohol, vomit, that kind of stuff. And the door
That's
opens
not
up.
nice to say about Henry.
The door opens up and the camera angle changes, and now you can see his whole body, and he is dragging somebody who is unconscious behind him, and he plops them into a pile of other unconscious people that are all just piled and slumped outside of this bar.
So you're dragging somebody with the head of a goldfish, and like tentacle feet. Who's dressed in a very nice 3-piece suit.
Yeah, well, all of these people look fucking horrible. They're all like unconscious either because of alcohol or like they got the shit kicked out of them. And you look at me again and again. I have this really, really nice like deep blue tuxedo vest. I'm wearing like a white button-up shirt with just the sleeves pulled up a little bit, and I just pull out like a little napkin from my pocket and I just unflip it and I just dab the little bit of blood at the side of my face. And I just look down at them and I go, and I just wander back into the bar.
As you do, you dump them. So that's the alley next to Constantinople. It's a brick alley, and you see, there's a puddle and some runes kind of like skitter across the puddle. And you think you see a roach goblin kind of skitter away, which is what it sounds like, a cockroach goblin kind of skitter away in the corner as you leave this pile of like unconscious patrons of Constantinople, and you go back inside. Is the evening wrapping? The evening's wrapping up.
Yes.
Patrons are.
I would imagine it's either the evening is wrapping up or like the morning is coming. It's one of those two.
It's kind of the same thing in the bar. So you go back down the hallway, and you come back into the main chamber, and it's been last call, so people are starting to filter out, and
or get filtered out.
One way or another. And you see the proprietor, Aunt May, who is a spider, but like actually a spider, like just this big. But she's talking to that night's entertainment, who had very long curly hair. Think of like red gingery hair, but like cousin it, kind of like it's just covered all over his body, with like a bass guitar on his back. And she's like, "Thank you very much, dear. That was a very nice night. Here are your orbs, Rainy. We'll see you again." And
you're muted, Rainy.
No, he's not.
It's me when I was 20.
Yeah, that was Easter egg Rainy.
Literally.
That was Rainy's cameo.
That was Rainy's cameo. And he leaves, and gradually the people filter out. And you help clean up the bar a little bit, mopping and kind of putting the stools up on the table and all those sorts of things. And she goes, "Oh, Istanbul, dear, I forgot to tell you a letter came for you.
I would imagine
2 letters, as a matter of fact."
So again, I'm deaf, so I can't hear her talking to me. But I would imagine she probably, as I'm cleaning up, going about my chores, she gets my attention and directs me to a couple of letters, and I give her a nod of appreciation. And I grab the letters, put them in my stuff.
Very good. And then night's done. You want to head up to bed?
Yeah. So so even though I live upstairs, I usually like to do a lap around the building as kind of my last thing before I go upstairs. Okay. Number one, because I am inquisitive, and I also am protective of the place that I am employed at. So I want to make sure there's no nonsense going on, nobody lingering about that shouldn't be. But it also gives me just a minute to clear my head before I go upstairs. So where it's very noisy.
Okay. So you do that, and then you head on up to bed. And do you just collapse on bed? What do you do? What's your nightly ritual?
Is there anything that seems different about this night, Christian? Anything in the air, anything in my mood that seems a little different? Or is this just a night like any other?
This feels like a night like any other to you so far?
In that case, I will, go upstairs, hang my keys up on the little key hanger that I have, take off my uniform, stuff like that, throw it in a single hamper. And I go and open up my closet, and there's, 5 more uniforms that are exactly the same.
Yep.
Take one out, put it on my bed put it on the couch for the next day. And I just like sit down on the couch and I just close my eyes and I take a deep breath in, and my hands kind of relax a little bit. And it just, as it pans out from like my character just sitting there relaxing, you can just see like, I don't know, a little glass on the table next to him, and it's just vibrating ever so slightly.
Yep. And you just drift off to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is gray and dusty, almost like ash or dust in the air. And you hear again, which you haven't heard, but this is the same dream you keep having where you can hear again. But it's something you don't want to hear because it's thumping far, far away of artillery shells slamming down on the city. And you're in a building and it's barely standing. You don't know, you still, to this day, you've thought of this dream time and time and time again. You don't know how that building managed to stand as long as it did. But you're being pulled along by your hand because you're very, very small. And you can hear speaking. And you can hear, "Come on, this way, madam. We must go. They've entered the city. They've entered the city. We must get out of here." And you can hear shouting, and you can hear gunfire. And then you can hear, come on, darling, we must move. We must go. Be brave for me. Be mother's brave boy." And then you hear the whistling. Long, long whistling, followed by just a thump. And then you feel the floorboards just fall out from underneath you. And you don't hear anything. But you can see as the building collapses until all the rubble falls on top of you and it's just blotted out and you fall unconscious. And as you're falling, you have your hand in your mother's hand and you feel it just kind of slip away as you fall. And then the rocks and the boards are just falling on top of you. And you can't hear the shells anymore, but you can feel them in your chest as they thump off in the city. And you're sleeping on the couch and you're out. And the room is all silent because it's vibrating. But down from the ceiling, just a thin line of silk. And the spider just kind of lights on your chest. Crawls up on your face. Just kind of looks down your face. And it's Aunt May. And she just, you know how like, just kind of squeezes your cheeks with her little spider hands. Those little spider hands kind of squeeze your cheeks. And she goes, "You're a good boy, Istanbul. I'm always going to take care of you because I'm never going to forget the promise that I made. You check that letter in the morning, it's going to be something good for you. You don't hear that because you're asleep. But in the morning, you think you should check that letter."
I like that. That was really good.
Thank you. Who wants to go next?
I can go next if no one else wants to.
Rainy is one of the most prepared here, so yes, Rainy.
You say that, but I'm trying.
Rainy, what are you doing?
I think Darcy has just finished a lecture of some sort.
Okay.
And they did do a great job. I don't think they're academic. They're very motivated for their own research, but teaching others probably, even though it's a very Vance thing to do, I think that they just get it done. You know, like they just sure.
So you're like one of those grad students who like has to teach a class, but you're working on your doctorate and you're like, I don't want to fucking teach this shit to you idiots. But
yeah, it's me. Yeah. It's me in grad school. It's exactly what it is. I show up to lab and just go, if you fuck this up, that's on you. Whatever. But yeah, I think that they know they didn't have the best lecture. They were distracted. Happens time to time. But they are returning. You see them walking through campus and they pass places where there are students and they are, both studying and doing work and whatnot. And then also just relaxing and doing whatever.
As you're walking through the campus, you see like this little like monster just like, and it like stops and it squeaks at you and you hear, wait, come back. And following up, you see a very short, very young looking girl. She's got this ponytail that kind of increases and decreases in size as it goes. And she's got eyes. When you look at her eyes just kind of aren't there. They're just black. But she kind of scoops this little monster up and sticks it into her like very voluminous sweater that she's wearing. And then she looks at you and she's like, I just like to make friends. Behind her is a very large bronze statue that's just kind of following her around, watching her and making sure that she's safe as she does all these things.
Okay.
She goes, I just like to make friends with all the monsters, Mr. Ebb.
I can see that. And I can help. How?
Oh, do you have any monsters I can befriend?
Honestly, more than I can probably. I would feel safe about. Let's say no.
Oh, okay. Well, let me know if you have any. And she runs off.
I will. Yeah. Bye.
Bye, Sarah.
Perhaps in the future, if I can get my little thief out of my my quarters, I can send it her way. But yeah, confused by that, and once again distracted, and just kind of you see they turn, and it's almost like they've forgotten what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
They look around. Darcy and
Can I jump in there for a second? So
Yeah.
the Vancine campus is a big college campus. Just think of like, your New England college campus, very spread out, beautiful old lecture halls, brownstone. The Actuality has a weird sort of 20s vibe to it, like a steampunk 20s vibe is probably the best way I could describe it. So as you look down the street, it's autumn in Fartown. The reason it's autumn is because a long time ago, there was a warlock who hated summertime, and he cast a mighty spell to make sure there was always cool there. So
that
leaves
literally my dream.
leaves are just kind of sprinkling down, like how when it's fall and you got those beautiful yellow leaves and just kind of sprinkle down.
Wow.
It's always like that. It's
Perfect university picture.
sprinkling
That's super
down
cool.
the street, and out in the street you see a woman in a very nice business suit but with like a snake tail just kind of slithering by carrying all these papers, and a 1920s cab just kind of careens down the street being driven by someone with a goldfish bowl head with like two fish in it that act as eyes, and you see a little kid rolling on a skateboard but with like tentacle feet, and that's the scene you see. Continue.
I just want to note, excellent slither movement, Christian.
Thank you.
A plus.
Also,
All that
great,
Cthulhu-ness.
great reference to the experiment people were doing with goldfish driving cars. I love that. Yeah, so Darcy finally gets their bearing, and you see them walk past all this beautiful, very idyllic, very picturesque, college campus looking kind of thing, into an area that is definitely how like at theme parks and stuff, like they keep your eyes away from things by putting bland colors and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like there's almost like an illusion, like this is Vance, this is a Vancian university or something, and they definitely have the means by which to do this. There's almost like a shimmering along this hedgerow of just to like, you're supposed to walk alongside it and not think about what's on the other side, because it's just uniform and hedge and maybe like shadowy on the other
Or
side.
sort of so, like those things they put up when construction's going on. So it's just like,
Right.
nothing to see here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's Darcy's basically front yard. As they just dip
great.
in one spot and go
Right
into
before you're going to do that,
Yep.
you hear, you hear like something pitter-pattering up behind you. Wait,
More friends.
Sir Ebb, wait, and you recognize it as one of the students. Not one of your students, but just one of the lower level. He's not even a first degree Vance. He's just an acolyte
Yeah.
right
So
now.
not that Darcy is egotistical in this way, but he looks and says, Velator?
Yes, sir. Yes, wait, I have, hold on. And it's a little kind of chubby guy, almost with like a hedgehog face. He's been to the
love it.
changery, right? He's short,
Okay.
maybe about 3-4 feet tall, and he's wearing like a tweed suit. This is a very Vance thing with the vest and like the chain, right? And he's like, wait, I
love
have
this little guy.
I have it somewhere. Hold on. Here it is. Here you are. It's a letter. Moises, Mr. Calhoun asked me to get this to you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I like fiddle in one of my pockets.
My name is
and,
my name is Charlie. If you put in a good word for me.
I will keep my eyes on the registrations. And I pull out like an orb or like a few orbs, and I just kind of like.
Oh, thank you. It's I am a
Like
student.
I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to. I'm just like, here you go.
No. I appreciate it. I'm a poor student, so thank you.
Yes, best of luck.
This is supposed to be surreal and not like the real
Listen,
world.
a lot of the truth about the actuality is racism, sexism, a lot of those things are gone. What isn't gone is
Classism.
fucking classism. Yeah, they
And
are
I'll say
still
this.
very much the haves and the have-nots. Yeah.
Even though I was building a weird hermetic, like or eremitic, eccentric researcher, my income based on like my house and what I built and stuff like that is pretty good. So Darcy is
That's
pretty
surreal.
comfortable. It's
That's
pretty
very
comfortable
surreal.
because he does a lot of weird jobs for people, like just research or like scribing or what have you. So I do well enough, and Darcy doesn't need much. So I think that he does just do stupid stuff with orbs. You know what I mean? He's just like,
Okay.
I don't know, just take, I don't know.
Just here, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you tip, but you don't know. You're one of those people who like sometimes people with a lot of money they'll do that. They'll be like, "Is this a good enough tip?" And it's like like a 50% tip, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Fuck yeah, it's good enough."
I just tipped the mailman. Like I'm just like, I don't know. Here you go. Just so anyway, yes. Darcy takes the letter and tucks it into an inner jacket pocket
Okay.
and makes their way back to their strange little hidden derelict makeshift library lab research.
So how do you describe how you
bedroom.
get there?
Yeah, I think that it is almost like a keep out looking hedgerow, or like even construction fence, or like it may be like a to be demolished, you know what I mean, like sign on something.
Mm-hmm.
And they just walk right in. And I think that obviously I can't turn lights on or anything like that in a front window or anything like that. So I think that he does go down to like a basement or something like that.
But the windows, if we remember correctly, the windows, because this building was the reason this building is where it is and why it's been condemned is there's a magical experiment that went wrong, and so
Yeah.
the windows are constantly, as you walk past, showing different scenes from across the
Yes.
suns. So you walk past the scene of the green where it shows just like this verdant, lush like jungle, and you see this little like gecko like kind of like crawling along, and all of a sudden as it's crawling, this like bird swoops in, it's just like. It just like eats it and then like flies away. And then you pass the next one and it shows a scene of the red where it's just like a picture of hell. Like it's just burning hellscape where, there are like living trees with people like wrapped up in them. And as you walk down to the basement, what happens when you go inside?
I think that they snap their fingers and their outfit changes. I have quite a few outfits listed here, but he goes into, they go into like a,
Is jammies?
yeah, kind of like
rather? I'm
jammies.
sorry.
Like it's like silk, like knickers. How like they're like pants that like bunch up at the knee.
Mhm.
Like they look like that, and he's got like they got high socks on, and then just like just an open silk top that they just Darcy has a magical girl transformation for sure. Twirl.
As you open the door and you walk in, you see one of the windows where it looks out over this, looks just like this massive like desert, right? And lying out across the desert are like what look like destroyed machines, dying trees, and like just like almost like melted machinery. Like the picture with like the melted clocks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it kind of looks
Dolly.
at. And reaching through that window is like this long clawed hand, and it's like rustling around in your sink trying to get something.
Did we come up with a name for this
You can right
ethereal
now.
thief? Yeah, what should we name this ethereal thief?
Beep-boop.
Beboop?
Steve.
Beep-boop. That's gonna be my
I said
character's name.
Steve.
Steve.
Beep-boop.
I don't think Darcy names it. Because again, names are important. Names are powerful.
Mhm.
So I think Darcy just watches it, and they just go, "What have you left me this time?"
It just
And
grabs a
what did you-
spatula, and you just
Yeah.
hear like,
What-
and like the hand just like slides out.
I love its attitude.
Didn't need that anyway.
I'm like, fuck you.
Darcy just like sighs and looks up. Yeah. Oh, all right. I can get more of those. And how does spellcasting work in this? Just for flavor, because I want to know.
You spend sorcery and an action, and the spell happens usually
Yep.
for most spells.
Yep.
So I have
Your Vance though. So if you're
Yeah.
using one of your
Yeah.
Vance spells,
You
it's a
can
little
you see you
different.
as a Vance, you have a choice because you have some regular spells
Yes.
and Vance spells. If it's a
Yeah.
regular spell, you spend the sorcery to cast it.
Yeah.
If it is a Vance spell, you have the option of casting it and it goes away from your memory, like
yes.
D&D, right? Or you can spend the sorcery to keep it in your memory.
Yeah, and I could take an hour to prepare spells.
Yep, and you can do
And
that, by the way, as many times as you want in a day.
a day.
I
Yes,
read that, yeah.
exactly. I just need an hour, which is kind of a pain.
Yeah.
But for Darcy, and that's not that big of a deal. So yeah, they're going to they watch the spatula just fly through a desert window, and they just go, "Well, I didn't need that, and I don't cook anyway." So they kind of like point their finger, and I've brought this up before. Darcian's watery visage visibly changes based on their mood, and like they're tired right now, so it's just this still lake with like actually, you know what, they're hungry, so it's like a whirlpool going down
Nice.
from like their chin down their neck. They're hungry, they want food. So they kind of point
Picture a toilet right now.
Ironically
Flush that
enough, the
food
whirlpool inverts after he's eaten.
they pointed a few things around the room, and all of those things begin moving and just coalescing into one strange little shape in front of Darcian. And I've cast Wati's Quick Servant. A number of small, random nearby objects fly together, forming a humanoid shape about 4 feet tall. It's a level 3 construct that's not intelligent, but can perform one task I name in 1 round. So I say, "Make me dinner. I'm reading."
In one round. Damn, he's like microwave mac
yeah.
and cheese cup. Hand it to you.
Pulls out
Magic.
It's like,
yogurt.
oh, ramen noodles.
Ramen.
You're a student. Here you go.
Perfect.
Ramen. Not even the Maruchan.
Yeah, just a
Top
stick
ramen
of just
for
a
you.
stick of butter. Just
Okay,
My
and
kids
then
would love that.
what are you going to do while it does that?
I mean, I just want to talk about all the cool things that I chose for character creation, but no, I think that yeah, oh, actually, I got a letter from Moises. So my mentor, who gifted me the orb that is now in my head. So I do open the letter. I sit down on my couch and crack it open.
All right, so as you do, you pull it out and you unfold it. And when you unfold it, like little magical motes kind of like sparkle out and kind of go through the air. And you see it's not actually any words or anything on it, but it's just Moises' like rune. And when you do, like a mouth just appears in the rune and it says, Darcian, I certainly hope all is well. I send you this letter as an invitation. As you know, Johann Dasein will be giving a lecture on some of his theories about being and time in the actuality this Thursday. I think given your orb and the ponderings you've been doing of it recently and your desire to learn more of the legacy, you would be very interested in hearing what Mr. Dasein has to say.
For as much definition as you can see on Darcian's face, there is a smile, and they refold the letter up. They keep it in their pocket, or they just put it on the table for now, and they just sit back, and you see their hands go to their temples, and the orb just starts kind of spinning.
You begin pondering your orb.
Begin pondering my orb.
Okay. So now question for you, because I'm going to just choose you next, if that's all right, Jess.
Oh, yeah, I want to go
Were
next,
you
perfect.
crashing in his place? Because it would be really funny if you were there and he just didn't notice you.
Oh, I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
So you don't notice, but Henry, you're having that dream again. And it's not, it's hard to explain because it's not like a lucid dream, but it's almost like a collection of feelings. So imagine feeling what it's like as a small child running and just like leaping into the arms of your dad, and he just like picks you up and spins you around, and how you felt so like light and free and happy and like laughing as your dad spins you around. Or imagine what it feels like to like walk down a beach in like a sunset where the air is like perfectly warm. It's like a sunset in a tropical location where it's like, it's not too cold, it's not too hot, it's just right. It's not too humid, it's not too dry, it's just right. It's like, you know, like the Goldilocks sort of zone where it's just the perfect area. Where you're just so happy. Fuck all of you. You're ruining my train of thought.
Perfect bliss. I've got
It's
this.
perfect bliss. Right?
Which one?
Eating like the best
Oh, no.
slice of fucking chocolate cake you've ever had in your life.
Crazy mess.
Just all sorts of like feeling wonderful. Right? Just a wonderful, wonderful feeling. And it's a dream that you've had many, many times in the past. But recently, you haven't had it as much. And you've been having to almost try to chase that dragon and get that dream back. And this, as a matter of fact, is the first time you've had that dream in a month. And then you wake up on the couch and you just kind of sit up, and you were actually behind the couch, and you see Darcy and like pondering his
Eating a
orb
stick of
on the other
butter.
side, and
Darcy's
eating
a
a stick of
sock
butter.
puppet making him ramen.
I was actually gonna say I didn't realize it said 1 round, but you know what? Who cares? It's magic. What did
My favorite
I
is
get?
That's why it's ramen.
Man makes an egg by make an egg, crack it, stick it in a bowl, and just hand it to you raw. But
Like,
you can
it's
just like
magic,
dump
so
the
it
egg
could
in
be
yourself, and it
fancy?
just like swirls around, and you like
Just lights a hot dog on fire and throws it at you.
Like, it should be fancy, but it never is. It's like a bag of Uncle Ben's rice that he only cooked for 4 seconds.
sort of
Like,
chewy
here
but
you
wet.
go.
Henry's just gonna like observe them for like a little bit, and just like out of curiosity, and then she's gonna like send over like a little gust of wind and try and like put a hole in the food and see if Darcy and even notices, or just like continues to eat and like ponder.
She's aerating his butter.
But yeah,
I'd say
turn
you'd
it into
probably
like
notice
from
that,
a
Darcy.
stick to
What
like
do
a
you think?
ring. I feel like Darcy wouldn't notice. Like this is probably something she does often.
It probably
Just
takes
fucks
longer
with
than you
them,
think.
shows up
Yeah.
and fucks with them.
Well,
Everybody's just fucking with him. The hands taking his spatulas. His personal chef is giving him lukewarm Uncle Ben's rice. Throws a flaming hot dog at him. There's been just poking holes in his shit with air.
Listen, that honestly, one, it would definitely take Darcy longer than immediate to notice, which is terrible. And two, it's good for him, it's good for Darcy. It's good for them to occasionally not just be lost in thought, because they lose hours, days
Listen,
to just.
Oh no. so does
Darcian
Henry.
has 2 brain cells. One is for the orb and one is for their fashion.
I like
That's
it.
true. Yeah.
Do you want to roll a perception thing? You want to roll some
Sure.
dice?
How do I
Yeah.
roll? Yeah. How do
Let's
I roll?
say
Dice.
what effect were you using, Jess?
I was using wind and infinity, so I was doing weather and space. So that's probably just like a level 1.
Yeah, I would say it's a level 1. So I mean, it would just be a 1 to notice it. If you have anything in your skills that'll knock that down.
Bend your sorcery, Jess.
I mean,
This is
So-
the price of fucking with people.
This
that's
is
a
me.
good
So
point.
I do have a 3 in perception. What does that mean for me? Or
It
is
means that
this
you do
just for
not need to
Jess?
roll at all. You notice right away.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, no, that's
Wait,
your
no,
Benny.
no,
Then-
that's
no, I'm
your
sorry.
Benny.
That's your Benny. I'm sorry. That would be if you
So
do you have any
if
skills.
you want
that
to
were-
use it, yeah, you'd have to
yeah,
spend.
you could
one
spend
of
it. You
those.
can only spend one,
One
but you
to
would
ignore it.
automatically
You
notice
plus
it.
1. Yeah.
Okay.
Which wouldn't matter. Like you would get that back.
I know, but I don't want to.
Don't want to.
I know, but we come
think
from
so.
things to find resource management.
I would make this really obvious. I wouldn't be subtle about it.
Oh, would you? Yeah. if
no.
it just-
I don't think you would notice already.
Yeah, it's just a constant stream of rice just filling up my lap, and
Right, so roll 1d10 and see if you
Henry's just slowly moving
got an
1
8.
grain of rice from.
you
the
notice
base
right away it's
to
someone's
the
fucking with
water.
your rice.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Someone is fucking with your rice.
I look over. Oh, Henry, I'm sorry. It's been a day. How are you? Where were you? Where have you been?
I don't know. I don't remember. I was just sleeping.
Are you hungry? I can have my servant make you one hot dog. It's lukewarm, really, but
The surface is on fire. The rest is still cold.
That sounds delicious, Darcy, and I am
yes.
starving.
Sure thing. And I spend another sorcery point, another random assortment of things, and I just go,
I just
food.
imagine it's a sock golem. It's literally like all the dirty clothes out of your hamper. It's like lighting this hot dog on fire and just fucking flings it at you with a pant leg.
It's just like a book face. It's like a book face
Oh,
and like
no.
a couple of like random things.
It's like a book face with one of those like drinking birds on the top of it as its eyes, and just made out of like socks and dirty laundry. It's like
a
throwing a flaming hot dog at you.
A slingshot made of pantyhose.
Where did those come from?
I mean,
Henry,
I
have you
will
been
still
bringing-
eat it.
Henry, have you been bringing people back to my home?
I mean, not again. Not
Not since the last time.
not since the last time. I don't think. I mean, I could have. I don't know.
It's all. I'm
Maybe.
just teasing. It's
I
fine.
think I'm getting close, Darcy. And that last portal, I had a dream again. I think I'm getting close.
They've been less frequent, have they not?
Yeah, but you know, it I just had it. So it's not completely gone.
What
Maybe
do you
it's
remember?
coming
Did you
back?
write? Have you written down what you remember from your dream? There's power in words if you write things down.
I think I'll just go try this portal again.
Okay. All right. Yes. Well, don't forget your lukewarm hot dog.
You know, you're smart enough, Darcy, and I will tell you that it occurs to you that this presentation might be of interest to her in finding out what she wants to know.
Oh, okay. Wait. Henry.
Yes?
My mentor recently.
How does one eat a hot dog when you are
Right.
spaced?
Do you have a mouse?
Just stick it
or-
wherever.
Where is your black hole today?
Oh, that is a good point. Hand, ear. Oh, armpit. Let's do that.
Eat the hot dog into your armpit hole.
Flip that.
You're writing these down, Sarah?
Continue.
Just so yeah, Henry.
Forgot the first one. I'm writing them down now.
Yeah.
Before you go, my mentor,
5923.
my mentor who bequeathed upon me this orb that I'm so obviously currently distracted with.
Yes, yeah, all for a
sent
long
me
time.
sent me a letter. There is a lecture. What did you say it was next week?
Thursday, this coming Thursday.
This coming Thursday. Don't get too lost in the portals. Do try and be back. I do believe Johann Darsen is giving a lecture. I believe you may be interested in it. His research is experimental, and there could be something that could help you harness more of this memory or pull it from elsewhere. I believe I've spoken to you at length about my hypotheses for the orb. A tether and anchor, a seed from which all souls bloom.
Henry is like slowly drifting off and like nodding.
Yeah, and just Darcy and
But-
just go ahead.
Yes, would you say that Henry is spacing out?
Ah,
Yes, good.
nicely done. But
Nice.
yeah, I believe you, if you would like.
Lecture Saturday. God.
Thursday.
Yes.
Thursday. If you would accompany me, I will promise you a warm meal and you can sleep on my couch.
I do that anyways.
That's fair. I really need to negotiate this relationship better.
I love you, Darcy, and of course I will be there Sunday. Got it.
Thursday, don't.
Got it.
Thursday-
I will
Thursday.
be there.
I think Darcy writes out a little remember like sticky note and just like looks for where to put it. Just here, just
I
hold
love
on
the
to it.
idea of her like just falling through a portal and then like falling out of another one on the other side of the house, and it's just like
Perfect. Yes, see, this is meant to be. You cannot forget Thursday. And I just right on, just slap a sticky note right on like forehead. Just
got it.
Bridget,
Yes.
you're on the train because you've left Fartown.
Yes.
You don't do that very much, but you were summoned. You have to go see
The
someone.
cruel irony.
Yeah. The summoner is being
You were summoned, which happens once in a while. You have to go see your patron, Arothe. So
Go see the Duke.
you gotta go see the Duke. So you are been summoned, and you're riding the train. Actually, when you leave Fartown, you take a portal into some place called the Hollows, which is like the slums of Satyrine, and you get on the train, the Satyrine rail, which runs all over the place. But imagine like a combination of like a roller coaster and the Polar Express, because the train doesn't do anything that makes sense. It'll run like sideways or upside down and do these like stupid loops and like go underground and above ground and underwater. So you go over the city and you're looking out as you do, and you see like some of the ruined expanses, and you just you get to a place which is the Reinvention, which is really all the way on the other side of the city. The Reinvention is a place that was tremendously destroyed by the war, but it's gradually being rebuilt. And it's literally on the edge of nowhere, because the city is just breaking apart there and drifting away into nothing. There are storms of emotions that are like playing out over this and everything, but there is nothing. But you're specifically going to a restaurant called Deshines. And
What's it called?
Deshines, Dechines, Deshines.
The Shines.
And Rainey, don't need to soothe that
Sounds
yet. We'll
Italian.
play it in a minute.
Okay, is that the same last name as this
I don't
lecture?
think so.
No.
No,
right?
his name
That
is
was Johann.
Dasein, Dasein.
Oh
Design,
no.
not
Design.
Design, which is a German word, which means being there. So you get to
Clever
Deshines,
girl.
and it's about lunchtime. Usually this place is pretty empty. You know for a fact, because you've been here before, for dinner, that it gets packed. But it's always somewhat empty for lunch, even though this is kind of a business district. But it is the actual... the Reinvention is a place that's very tied to the Gold Sun, which is rebirth. And so there's a lot of things just happening and being rebuilt. And everything's kind of like bright and airy and nice, except for this place, which is like... Imagine like if you took like your typical like dark wood paneled steakhouse with like deep red leather chairs, but times that by 10. And that's what you have. You walk in there and like immediately the atmosphere is oppressive, and you meet the owner right away, which is this woman who is very long black hair, very pale skin. She has 2 sets of red eyes. So 4 eyes, 1 and 2. And her hands are actually galaxies, like midnight black galaxies. And she says to you, "Oh yes, come in, he's been expecting you."
Excellent, thank you.
And you go to the back room where you walk in, and in there, seated there in a private room, is a thin white duke who's wearing an impeccable white suit with just a touch of a red handkerchief. He's got golden hair, very alabaster skin. There's not a single thing wrong with this guy, and just the most penetrating eyes. Just dark, dark, dark eyes. And he's sitting there and he's sipping like coffee.
She
And-
does her usual curtsy as she enters, and as she does, a little bit of ash drips from her fingertips as normal.
And he goes, "Ah, you are on time as always.
I should hope to be.
Please be seated. Lunch is just arriving shortly."
She makes her way over and sits down very proper.
"I trust you've been living deliciously."
When would I not be?
"Excellent. Ah, here is the food. Or, well, the entertainment." And the door opens, and in comes some servants. But you recognize them as thought forms. Side note, in the actuality, a lot of people aren't really people. They're just like made up thought forms. And that's what these are. They're just like, all your servants and like people like that. They're not real. They're just magic. And so these are just thought forms that just wheel in a little boy and a little girl who you recognize with like dirty feet, no shoes, dirty hands, torn, ragged clothes, very, very thin. And they're brought up to the table and just sat down at the table with you. And Arotha looks at them and goes, "Hello, little ones. Wait just a second, everything else will be along." And out comes this plate, like a cart, with food. And it's reeled around them, right next to Arotha. And the thought forms just put this big steak, like right in front of him. "Would you care for something, Bridget?"
Always. It sounds delightful. And she blinks, and when her eyes open up again, they are yellow.
"Nice. Help yourself then."
And she will, carve a piece of meat very delicately and put it on
This
the
meat
table.
is raw as fuck.
Yep.
And so he just begins slicing into the meat and just going
Yum.
to town. And as he is, like, you see he's opening his mouth up, and his teeth are like, like they're very pearly white, but they're a little pointier than they should be on a normal person. And he's just like, and like blood's like kind of dribbling out of his mouth. And as he does, he's actually like watching the kids, and they're just like, and he's like, "This is delicious. Oh, so good, so good. Would you like some?" "Oh, no. You would ruin your diet, wouldn't you?"
Now, how familiar is Bridget with the kids? Like, does she know?
Never seen him before in your life.
Has she seen him do something like this before?
Yes.
Okay.
You know for a fact that it's not the meat that's the meal here. It's the fact that they're starving and they want the food, and he's not giving it to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's why the yellow eyes are out, and she's
Yep.
just very purposefully not looking at them, but very purposefully making like dainty cuts and still keeping her manner about her.
And he's like just revels in it like the way a starving person would, and just like he fucks with these kids. And that's for that course. Dessert eventually comes out, and it's like, a very nice chocolate cake and everything that a kid would like. And he just like takes one bite and it's like, "That's enough, send it away." And just like, and they don't, by the time they ended, they're crying. And he's just like, "Oh, very good. You are dismissed." And they just, thought forms come and take everything away. And he brings out a just kind of dabs his face off. "Now," and he has kind of slightly long fingers, a little too long. And you notice there's an extra finger on each hand. And he looks at you and he goes, "So, our arrangement has been working out well, would you say?"
Of course.
Good. We need you to do something for us.
And what would that be?
This coming Thursday, there is a presentation being given on the Vance campus by a gentleman by the name of Johannes Dasein. What he is and what he's talking about is inconsequential, but you should be there.
She gives a little nod, as she does when she blinks. Her eyes switch to pink.
Okay. We have on good authority that something will happen there. If I told you, it would spoil the surprise. But you will know what you should do when the time comes.
Of course.
Excellent. Our trust in you is not misplaced.
Should I bring or prepare anything to prepare myself, keep me safe, or deal with whatever is to come?
Trust the friends I gave you in your own good judgment. But be ready for trouble.
We always trust each other, and we are always prepared for trouble, Duke.
Which is why you are one of my favorites. And his hand reaches out, but he's far enough across the table that he shouldn't be able to just like reach out and touch your face. But somehow his hand just does, because he can fucking do that. It's like maybe his arm stretched out, maybe the room shrunk. You don't know, but he's able to just kind of like give you like the kind of like pat on the cheek.
She just doesn't react to this. It's just like, that's just how it is. It just gives a little nod.
Very good then. If you don't mind, I have some other business to attend to. In which that you hear like, no, please, no. And the door opens and like two bigger demons drag this like little kind of a cat, like, and they look like demons. Like these guys are like horns, tails, spikes, and like tridents. And they're dragging this like little accountant looking guy in. And he's like, oh, Anthony. I'll be with you in 1 minute, dear.
Bridget gets up and gives her curtsy and then turns to the two demons and just gives a little knowing nod, just gentlemen. And just
They give you a nod back.
flitters her way out.
And you walk out and you walk to the train station. And as you walk to the train station, you pass a lot of beautiful homes and things are being built here. And one is this beautiful fairy tale castle that you see. Just beautiful, like imagine like Disney princess castle. And coming out of the front of it is a little broccoli princess. And she's just like throwing these books like out on her lawn. And she's just like, I hate reading these stupid books.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Everyone immediately knows it's me.
But you get to the train station and you return to your home. Anything you want to do at your home?
They are going back to what she was doing before, hunched over the table and sketching.
So you go in and you see a little figure kind of like scurry out and stand up and be like, Bridget, you have arrived back at home. I had missed you. It is Samuel the rat.
I was gonna say, is it Samuel?
Yes.
Blink.
What
Which is
happened to the,
the
what happened to the
quirk is
Gilbert Godfrey
Bridget
voice?
can't talk to. I changed my mind. I want him to be a little Puritan. So
It's okay. It'll forever live on in my mind as Gilbert Godfrey.
Wait,
Rest
he's a
in
rat.
peace.
He's a rat who accidentally also burned at the pyre and has followed her
Yeah.
into actuality.
but he's
That's
but he's a
exactly what
Puritan.
happened.
Yeah.
Wait, no, he was
Totally.
in this is the head canon that I'm playing in Christian now it's canon. In Shadow, he was Bridget's father, Samuel.
Oh
and-
shit!
And so in actuality, he's her little rat roommate.
Fucking plot twist.
Nice. So
That'd be really weird when you look
how
at the
wast
rat
thou how
dad.
wast thou meeting with him?
Oh yes, well, the meal was I didn't eat, others did, but I've got a lecture to attend to on Thursday, so that should be interesting.
Oh, guard thou heart against devilry. I suppose it is lost on you, since thou art devilish. But
Oh,
still I shall
no,
not stop entreating you.
They take care of me, Father. Don't you worry.
I shall pray for thee. I mean, like scurries back into his rat hole. And you go back to reading.
Rat dad.
Is Ratdat the dad from The Witch?
Yes.
Wait, hold on.
I have to watch that movie again. I forget how he acted. But yeah.
Like everything that you just said so far, like go pray for thee. I'm like, oh my god. And you were
That's
saying
what
it, like,
Puritans do.
deliciously, and I
Oh
was like,
my
Yeah.
god.
"Get on here."
Well,
It
it's the-
absolutely is.
she was a witch. I mean, well, I'm
Yeah.
running with it. I'm running with
That's
it.
funny.
All right. Frey, what are you doing?
I am
Also eating humans.
cooking.
Cooking
In
meat?
front of children.
Let's say instead of that, then you heard from an old friend to meet you at a certain restaurant.
Oh.
It's the sort of restaurant that only certain people know about, and you need to say the right words to get in.
An
So
old friend. How old? Like what? How old is this old friend? What days are they from? My like college days,
somebody
after
who
college days, before?
somebody who knows your proclivity for food and is all about it.
Are they an actual friend or are they like a frenemy?
You
Are
trust
they
them.
like one of those friends I need to kill?
No, this is a friend who knows about that and helps you from time to time.
Okay.
And their name is
Chris at the restaurant is Little Caesar.
sure. And
I don't know if I can do that, but
their name is Ventriculus.
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 Wow, what a cool name.
Atriculus or ventriculus?
Ventriculus.
Because ventriculus would be a clever play on a human anatomy.
You know something? Why don't we do that then? It's ventriculus.
Ventriculus.
I was thinking ventriloquism,
Me
where they
too.
make your food talk to you before you eat it.
Oh,
Oh
God,
my
that would be
God.
Your food can
horrible.
talk to you here, but nobody needs to make it.
Puppets.
So,
Dinner and a conversation.
so this is a place that's kind of hidden and tucked away in Fartown. So you walk down the autumn streets of Fartown. It's late because this is a place that's an after hours sort of place, and the streets are largely empty. You see a couple drunken revelers, a few of them leaving Constantinople. But you make your way and you walk down like a cobblestone street and you kind of duck into an alley, and in the alley there's a door and you kind of knock on the door and the thing kind of opens, and you say the right word and the door is opened and you walk in, and immediately you're overwhelmed with the smell of like cooking meat.
If it is late, as in nighttime,
Yes.
if it is nighttime, I will have nyctophilia running on myself.
Okay.
And I will have, what is my other spell that I want to run? Let's run Myrmidon's Strength. I'll be running both of those, and I will have taken my longest rest before coming out. So I can have
Okay.
those. They're both
And you have full.
qualifications.
Yep. And you have
Yep,
full.
so
Good.
full sorcery, longest rest is expired, and I got
Good.
this.
Good. So you're still expecting trouble, basically.
Yep, always.
So you go in, you're taken in, and you recognize a thought form servitor who is this one. The ones at Deshane's restaurant were like your typical like wait staff with like like steakhouse wait staff with like white jacket, black pants, like just very nondescript gentleman. This guy is like a fat hairy guy without a shirt on, just like leather harness and like a bondage mask. Like like the gimp mask with like the
Right.
zip, like bring out the gimp.
It's
And so-
Marv.
Bring out. No, it's not Marv. Marv was skinny. So he's just like, come with me. Ventriculus will
Follow
wait
along.
for you. And he just gives you a corner booth. And this is a very dark place. People don't necessarily want to be seen eating here. And so you're in a dark corner booth like your typical edgelord.
It's okay with my special spells running. I do everything better at night.
And so you're kind of just sitting there. And as you do, you notice a table away, a couple tables away, see two old friends eating, waiting for a meal. One is a older, distinguished gentleman wearing a very nice suit, cufflinks that you see are skulls. He's got a black tie and with skulls. There's something vaguely canine about his features, where his like mouth and snout have like elongated, and he's got these strange yellow eyes. And the person sitting across from him, she's dressed in all black, but it's a different sort of black because he's wearing like a suit. She's wearing like pretty much like combat fatigues with combat boots. A big two-handed sword rests on the table next to her. Her face is painted like a skull, and she's got aviators on.
Hey.
Aw.
And as they sit there, one of the thought forms
I
comes
get
out
that
and goes,
reference now.
Your course is coming out. And you hear from the back, yeah, it's facts and logic that the P word does not get that wet. And a wheelchair is wheeled out, and sitting in it is this rather short, pudgy guy with like dark hair, and he's got like in his lap, he's strapped to a chair. In his lap is like a big gulp with like a like a straw that's kind of like stuck in his face, and he's being pushed, and something looks weird with his head, and he's just like, be quiet, drink from your drink. It doesn't taste very good, I'm sorry. It's not for you, darling. And as they bring him up to the table, the chef goes, he brings up another little like kind of like a flat surface you can grill on that's heated, and he goes, it's my very good honor to present this to you, my friends. It is the best type. The brain hasn't been used very much, so we find it has the best flavor. And he just takes the back of his head off and just slices some brain off and puts it on the skillet and fries it up, and then feeds it to Shadow Amber and Shadow Christian, who proceed to eat his brain.
No nutritional value.
No nutritional value whatsoever. It's
Empty
just empty calories. Flaying humans don't care about your feelings. But with that, you watch that for a minute, but you hear like some steps up to the table and a little knock on the table. and it's your good friend Ventriculus, who is. I'm going to pull off the sheet here to see what he looks like. Hold on a minute.
One of the other diners is like, it's kind of dry.
Ventriculus is just enormously obese, and he wears these magical like rings that help him float. Basically, they negate gravity, so he just kind of like hovers around, and just kind of hovers into place. And he's just like, "Oh, Frey, is my Russian voice. It's so good to see you."
Hey, Ben, I assume this is not just
No,
for pleasure?
it's good price though. This brain is very good, but you get, I mean, sometimes you get one not used like that. No nutritional value, but still fun to eat. And you just hear in the background like, facts and logic. Very nice, thank you. And they just kind of like reel them away.
My God.
But I'll oh yes, thank you. The bondage guy comes up, he goes, I'll have
I'm
the
with
baby
Jess.
back ribs.
Literal baby.
Are you going to have anything?
I'm actually fine tonight, thank you.
What is your sense of adventure? I'll have mine extra rare. So, things have been okay?
Well, you know, Mother's Day is coming up.
No, yes. It's very sad. So, about that, I have heard things. Okay? I heard from my friend Vasily, who works at the Vance campus, that there is going to be this Thursday some guy, he's giving a speech about something boring. Doesn't really matter. But your friends got tickets.
Which friends is he talking
The
about?
friends that we do not want to name even in this place.
Those friends, okay. Do you know how many?
I do not know. It's hard to tell with them, as you know.
She kind of sits back and kind of stares into middle distance for a minute, thinking.
At least 3, possibly more.
How do I get in?
I can get you a ticket. Actually, I have.
She'll reach for the ticket. Thank you.
You're welcome. One day you'll do me a favor, I know.
I'm good for it. You know I am.
I know you are.
Ooh. Thursday night. What's tonight for?
I will say it's Monday.
Okay, so I got a little while to
Yeah, you got some time.
gather some information about this guy whom he has no information about. This speech thing, and your friends would be there. Okay, cool.
Ray doesn't seem to me like the type who'd have very many actual friends. You know, like
That's why I
friends.
keep asking. Wait, which friends? What does
Yeah.
friend mean?
Yeah.
Context. No, Freya is quite solitary. People who were friends, she is mostly pushed away in her life.
So yes, they will be there. You must be careful though. But usually they do not do these things, so it must be something big.
They've been quiet for a while.
Yes.
I'm ready.
You take care of yourself.
She nods. She's gonna take her ticket and go.
Okay. Just as you leave, like the ribs come out. They are indeed rather small, but there's a lot of them.
Baby back ribs.
So fun.
Sorry, my cat is destroying my house. One moment.
Burger.
Does anyone? We're blissless, but all non-blisses. Do you have anything you want to do between now and Thursday?
I don't think so. I just like the idea of my character. She's just like out exploring, floating on clouds, and then one day, caught up in her winds, there's just this like sticky note flying around, and she's like, "What is?
Oh shit! Yeah, I was supposed to be at something.
What day is okay?"
I like it. I like it.
Bridget just like back at her house after talking with Samuel. She's sitting down and she's just sketching and drawing, and then she puts the pieces together, and it's just like Vance campus. Oh God, Darcy's gonna be there, and just sheer panic. And spends the next couple days like attempting to make herself look decent.
And Samuel, by the way, is like
always.
the whole time. Samuel is like, "Thou shalt not have inappropriate lusts."
Oh wow.
Like,
no.
Spats in his little nose, just like excuse.
Istanbul, what do you never even read your letter? What are you doing?
I would say I probably wake up from my dream, as I usually do. I don't sleep very well. And I kind of like shake the slumber from my body, and I look over at my clothing that's, lying next to the hamper, and I remember there was the letter in the envelope.
You actually had 2 letters.
And I'll take both of the letters in my hands, and first I feel the paper. And I kind of like I smell the paper to see if there's any perfume or anything like that on it. Both just plain, any like wax insignia or anything that they're sealed with.
One has a wax seal. One smelled, and you immediately, because I know you can communicate and get like vibes off of objects. One of them has a very bureaucratic vibe to it. And the other one has a wax seal. Actually, both of them have a very bureaucratic vibe to it. One of them has a very soulless. One of them has a very soulless
Smells
bureaucratic.
like the DMV.
Gross.
One of them has a
Bureaucratic.
very, very soulless bureaucratic vibe to it, and the other one has a little bit more life to it. That's the best way I could put it.
I will open the one that is soulless first and get it out of the way.
It is a letter from the Pale Embassy, which is the
Okay.
embassy of the dead in Satyrine. And
Okay.
it is a basically like a response to a request for information. Because I imagine you've been trying to contact your mom.
Yeah.
So one of the things is that when someone dies in the actuality, they just move to the Pale. So which is just another sun, and now you're a resident of the Pale and you're dead. But think of it like, people retiring and moving to Florida. It doesn't mean you can't talk to them.
I think of it like Coco. You guys ever see the
Yeah.
yeah,
I still
like
haven't yet.
you should totally watch it.
everybody.
It's great.
It's gonna
Yeah,
make
Disney-
me
Wait. Your mom retired to move to Florida. Is she in Pineapple Falls? Like, what?
Oh, you call her and then you get this voice. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, this
No.
is mom.
Istanbul is
Oh
mom.
my
Your
God,
mom's-
that's your mom.
Wait, I
Your
think
mom's a little
your
busy
mom
right
might
now.
be here. There's a couple of women. Hold on a minute.
She's in great danger.
Oh, it's Grandma
one-
Club.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
No,
This is what you get when
it is-
Christian's running games now.
This is what happens when I leave for 1 week.
yeah, I introduced the worst character in the history of the stream. No, it is a letter from the Pale Embassy, which you've been in contact with, and this is to sum it up. Basically, it is absolutely like a letter from the DMV, which is like, we regret to inform you that we have been unable to reach the woman that you've been looking for. Please, if you wish us to continue, please submit these forms in triplicate and blah 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 blah. So no dice, they couldn't get in touch with your mom or find her.
Yeah,
Which should not be, by the way. You should be, if
Right.
someone dies here, they should go there. So that's a weird thing.
Yeah, I fold the letter back up just the way that it was, put it back in the envelope, and just throw it on the table next to a stack
Okay.
of other letters that are all very similar.
Mhm.
And I take a moment and I look at the wax seal on this other one, and
Okay.
I commit the seal to memory. One of the skills that I have is memorization.
Sure.
So I will then go ahead and break the seal slowly,
Mhm.
and I will produce forth the letter.
There's another basically the same symbols on the inside of the letter. When you open it, like magic dust sparkles out of it and kind of floats around. It's kind of pretentious, but it happens.
I didn't get a magical dust letter.
That's because you're a weird hippie who wanders
I
around and no one knows
know.
you.
You got a sticky note.
And
Great,
I
now I
know.
have glitter on me. Istanbul's just like,
it doesn't glitter. It just kind of floats through the air and tinkles. And then this mouth kind of appears. And it goes, the bearer of this letter is cordially invited to a presentation in the Memorial Hall for the study of angelic incantation on the Vancian campus this coming Thursday by Johannes Dasein in regards to his research in being and time. And there's a little sticky note kind of on the bottom of the letter.
I pull forth the sticky note.
It's written in really, really, really small writing, and you have to like hold it up to your face. But it's Aunt May, basically. And it says, "This Stam, I thought this would help you perhaps in your quest to find your mom. I've known Johannes for a while back, and he's a good guy and an expert on, well, things like the legacy, and so perhaps he can answer some questions for you. Take care, XOXO. Aunt May."
Istanbul is appreciative of the letter. He assumes she probably had to go to at least some lengths to procure a spot for him. He sets the letter down for a minute, and he looks out the window that's in his little loft thing over the whatever view he has of the city in the immediate surrounding area. What does he see?
Oh God, Jesus, Troy. You see immediately a house that is leaning like way too far over, and it's just like leans, and you're like, oh fuck, it's gonna fall down, and then an arm just kind of comes out and pushes it, and it kind of goes to the other. It's like a classic wizard's tower, and it tilts to the other side, and then the arm like pushes it, and it just keeps constantly rocking back and forth. And that next to that is just like a glass, shiny glass like building, like a modern architecture like building, like just like a modern hospital, like modern,
An actual
brutalist,
iPhone. People live
ugly,
inside it.
yeah. An actual iPhone is next to it. It's a building that's an iPhone. That's perfect.
All the little apps are different rooms and people.
All the
live in
little
them.
apps, there's all sorts of different apps.
Oh,
Next to
that's kinda
that,
dope.
next to
This
that
sounds
is
like a Black Mirror episode.
yeah. Next to that is a house that's a big, just like typical, like imagine like big beautiful house, white picket fence, beautiful lawn, perfect manicure, happy children playing in the front lawn, and as you're watching, the house just goes.
No size.
And beyond that, you see a paper mache house that's actually tied to the ground so it doesn't blow away. And on and on and on. It just I can keep going, but you just see a bunch of weird shit.
I take a minute to reflect on everything that I see, and I look at the paper mache house, and I stare at it for a moment, and I say, "Tell me, what is it that keeps you anchored amidst the unceasing wind?" And then I turn my head just a little bit and I look to the house that's swaying back and forth. And you, how do you stay firmly planted against the ravages of time? I wonder these things.
As you say that, you're looking in the street below, and you see this ginger man with like a Peaky Blinders kind of hat on, kind of limping down the street. Just like he has like a brace on his back.
Crawling. He's
Just kind of like,
crawling.
and he's got these kids sort of like just running around and like just torturing him. One
I'm
of them
sorry.
takes a
Dropping on his back.
One of them takes a shoe full of chocolate milk and just like chucks the chocolate milk on him, and he's just like, oh, God. As he just like. But you know, you can see people. You instantly know something about him. You know that he could not be happier with his life, and he just has so much love for his children, and he feels like a rock that's just being unceasingly pounded by waves. And one day those waves might break him, but right now he's just going to limp along.
You
I'm
also
sorry.
know the chocolate milk is 2%.
Does this rock look like it has a weak back?
It has a very.
This
It's
is
a
the
very weak
fucking
back.
scene from goddamn Christmas Carol where there's the little peasant boy outside and Scrooge looks down from his window and goes,
You
"What
there?
day is it
What
today?"
day is it? Why, it's Christmas, sir.
Yeah.
The spirits did it all in one night. Right.
He sees as he pivots his attention from the buildings to the scene that's taking place down below. He looks at just the absurdity of it all, but also he notices it as both a struggle, but also as a I don't know, a moment of happiness. It seems like it's isolated from the rest of the world. Everything else that's going on has no bearing on this moment. And he smiles just ever so slightly. A smile creases his face, and he doesn't quite often form creases in those areas of his face. Not much these days anymore. And he takes one last glance out at the view that he has, and he turns around. He says, "Well, very well." He goes over to an empty calendar that's hanging up next to the door, and he writes on it Thursday. He just scribbles something down.
Okay. Is there anything anyone wants to do between now and Thursday? Yes.
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 Okay, we'll do Darcy first and then you. Right.
Darcian is a researcher, so they're going to spend time reading stuff that Johannes Dasein has written and published, if possible.
Sure. I will tell you, because I'm not even going to have you roll. It's easy enough, especially on the Vancian campus. He's a low-level Vance, but he's a Vance. He is a researcher. He's obsessed with being and time. And he's written he's not very well thought of in the Order, because the Order above anything values like clarity of thought.
Yeah.
And he has this very like thick, dense, kind of weird way of talking about his ideas that is very hard to understand. So people they're happy he's around. They keep him around. They're not going to kick him off the campus because it's like, hey, he might one day write something really great. But they also tend to think that he's kind of weird.
This pretentious windbag.
He's very hard to understand.
Potential.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
Okay. Darcian also has a minor magic ability called Rapid Read. So if I get a book or anything of Johannes's, I can digest all of the information in it if I just hold it for 1 minute.
It takes you 2 minutes with his, and you're still confused.
Excellent. Yeah. Which honestly, that would bother Darcian quite a bit.
The gist with him is that he's obsessed with the fact that the universe is a spell. The creator who left behind the legacy, the creator who left behind the legacy has cast this spell. Time, as we had thought about it, some people think about time as linear. Some cultures have thought about time as cyclical. But the fact of the matter is, time is expanding like the Big Bang from the moment that the spell was cast. So every moment that goes by, there's actually more past behind us and more future in front of us. But the interesting thing is that we're going to this inflection point. We're not quite at the time when the spell was cast, but eventually we're going to get there. And what happens? That's his whole thing.
Darcian likes that a lot, actually. It just gives him more to ponder with his own orb.
Okay.
I love the idea of just Darcian reading intensely, and like Henry's just in the background with this arm. It's like bowl, spoon, this
Behind,
book,
yeah. So you're
hands
reading,
it to the arm.
and the arm's
arm.
But also the arm
Giving my stuff away.
The arm had this spatula. So this
Which
time,
one do you
this
want?
time you're like, oh God, you gotta cook. I don't want any more ramen. And the arm's just like, and it's just a sack of like Five Guys hamburgers.
Yo.
Hell yeah, dude! Five Guys.
And it's just like
I was actually
Arm
just going to say, what did it
kinda
bring
goes
back?
out.
Yeah.
The arm provides.
yes, the arm
The
giveth
arm
and the arm
take it.
taketh.
Yeah, the
Take it
hand
and the arm
giveth
take
and
it away.
take it
Take it
away.
away.
What are you gonna do in the
That's
meantime,
great.
Frey?
I am gonna contact my old classmate Bridget,
Okay.
who I still see from time to time around. She's a bit in my life, as much as anybody can be.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, what's the equivalent of a phone here? Like, what's the easiest way people send messages commonly?
You can do the noosphere, which is like
Pigeons.
the imaginary, like it's the Force, but it's also the internet. So you could do a noosphere message. You could call someone on
Forsternet.
an
I
etheric
imagine in this
telephone.
world too that like whatever you say could just like go, right? Like
You
your
can
words
also,
could
yeah,
just
it's easy
travel
to just
into-
like, I'd say there's a very good like mail service.
Call her on the etheric telephone.
Yeah.
That sounds like a thing. Yeah. So I'll wait until I know she's probably in.
So you're
after her
home and you're calling on
school.
the etheric telephone, and no one is like, oh, you're using that thing again. Don't you know that the dead can listen on your calls? Why do you want that? You don't want people to know what you're saying.
I never forget that the dead can listen on my calls, Nona.
You just gotta be careful. And she's like
Staring
shaking
at
a
her.
wooden spoon. at you. You just got to be careful with that stuff because there's all sorts of freaks and weirdos out there and they'll listen to your calls. I'm telling you.
I'm just like,
Something will happen to you, and then how will I feel about that, huh?
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
I'm gonna go to my room. I'm gonna go to another crypt in my mausoleum.
Always in your room, this one. She never wants to be with me. I don't know why. Who disrespects
for
their
you.
Nona?
She's not even my Nona. She's just a Nona.
Everyone's Nona.
She's your Nona now.
She's my Nona now. So yeah, call up Bridget.
Yeah, you get like, you hear it answer, and then it's like a crumbling paper, and then just, hello?
Hey, Bridges.
Frey, oh goodness, how are you doing, darling?
I've been all right. Been busy, you know, working on some projects.
Good,
I-
good.
Your crush, the one that you'll never, ever, ever talk to or confess to in like a million, 100 years.
We're
One of your
starting-
crushes is a Vance, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the Vance with the orb.
Darcy, and yes, we're starting there. Great.
Do you think you can get onto the campus
The Vance campus.
with a friend, say to visit or something?
Maybe. I mean, I'm heading there.
No, you've been so buried in your work lately. I think it would be good for you to go out. And I know how shy you are, so I'll be happy to be your wing girl.
Oh,
Wing girl.
when were you thinking? I mean,
Anytime before Thursday.
before. Funny. I'm heading there Thursday. Sure. What are just looking to go out and explore the campus, or?
Yeah, I'm interested in a little bit of a tour, you could say. I promise I won't destroy anything unprovoked.
Yeah, but what are you actually interested in?
The speaker on Thursday? I just want to see what it's like before the event.
Oh, no, that's a good idea.
So I know where I'll be going.
Yeah, that'll be good. What I didn't even know you had a ticket to the event.
I do. I'm looking to Nona's been on me about getting out more and picking up some healthy hobbies and my education, just endless about my education.
That's Nona. Yes. That's Nona.
So I've figured I'd appease her and go to a couple seminars.
Oh, that'll be good then.
Not gonna be a Vance though.
Please, like I could ever see you being a Vance. No. You're much more fun.
But I suppose
Don't tell Darcy and I said that though. Oh God.
I am more fun than Darcy and
Blasphemy.
Okay, so all right, you go to the what specifically are you looking for? We'll keep
I
this
just
high
wanna-
level because I want to get to a point before Troy has to go. So
yeah, I just want to go to the campus. I'll go with Bridget under the pretense of visiting Darcy and I just want to look around the campus, get an idea of like the layout, specifically if I can find out where the hall the talk is going to be in, get a look at the inside of the hall, exits, entryways, things like this. Check it out with like magic, do a little detecting, noting different spells and wards and stuff like that.
it is magical as fuck.
I'm casing the joint.
There are several wards and things like that of that nature. It is, again, imagine your typical New England campus, especially it's perfect because it's always fall here. You've heard that a winter hating witch had cast a spell to make sure that it never quite got as cold as winter, so it stayed fall permanently. But you know that the building that it's going to be that the lecture is going to take place in is the Aldous Crefter Memorial Hall for the study of angelic incantation, and it is a brick building, kind of musty and smelly. Very feels very old. But you see the lecture hall, and it's got like this like very nice kind of like gold like shit, nice stuff painted on the ceiling. Thinking of a theater in Woonsocket.
Nice shit.
How many does it seat ish?
I would say it could seat up to 50.
Okay, so it's a smaller
Small.
one. This
Yeah,
is,
it's pretty small.
This is a pretty exclusive talk.
It's like my actual college lecture
Yeah.
halls were like 60 person.
God, Bridget
All right.
Bridget sees the name of the building and just. Oh,
Yeah,
this
you
is
see,
going
you
to
walk
go
into that building, and
swimmingly.
everything inside of you is just like "Bleh," as you walk into that.
Literally everything inside of you, all three of the things inside of you.
She's just like clutching her stomach, just like, it's fine, everything's fine.
Frey just grins at her. Oh, come on, live on the wild side a little. It's just a building.
What I'll give you for like your casing the joint, Frey, as I'll give you like a hidden knowledge to use at some point.
Okay,
Nice.
We'll say that.
I'm prepared for something
Yeah.
during this
You're
adventure.
prepared, and you
I've
can
seen something.
decide how that works.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else beforehand? Okay.
If we actually do get to meet and see Darcian, I'll notice that Darcian has been reading up on the speaker, and I'm just gonna have Darcian. I will try to ask a few questions about the speaker to Darcian to save myself the trouble of reading this incredibly boring shit and see if he can condense it for me, so I know a
Oh,
few
no.
things about this
The answer
lecture.
is he cannot.
I was actually just gonna say that if they came under the pretense of Bridget finding Darcian, that's fair game, but I know we want to move it along.
We can do that. That's fine. We
We
can
I-
also
if
just
we
say
wanted- I was gonna
talked.
say
I
we
mean, you
can
don't
also
have to roleplay the whole scene. We could just say you talked, and
yeah.
you know Bridget was awkward and
Yep.
We
stood
go
there.
to the mess hall. We get not great coffee.
Yeah.
Bridget's
Yeah,
super
no,
awkward. I just keep looking at Bridget like, oh my god.
But it's
You know how-
okay
no.
because Darcian talks like the whole time.
Yeah, and you know what it is? Darcian's not talking to Bridget. They're talking to Frey because Frey asked
Oh,
questions about
yeah.
the lecturer. So Bridget's just there like trying to get
Third
words in.
wheeled on her own date.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
snap.
who's not interested in this date at all.
And Darcian is
What a
just,
wing woman.
just absolutely just boring both of you hard with this this other Vancian members
You
studies on.
You do get at one point, oh god, she doesn't say anything. But at one point it's literally just like one eye is pink, one is orange. As
Oh.
there's two just fronting at once, interested in very different
Sure.
things.
Yeah, I think that Darcy would notice that and clock it, but not
Say anything.
not feel comfortable being like, tell me all about this. What is, ooh, you know.
What's with your eyes?
But for a
Panic.
moment, your two colored eyes meet my almost lack of eye because it's just water, but you can see like where like the eyeballs would be. Yeah.
It just the frozen, just eye contact, just
Bridget stops breathing until I give her a nudge. My kicks are a little under the table so she remembers.
just after her shitty coffee.
All right.
Okay. So the night comes, and you arrive, and you see that it's although the hall will hold up to 50 people, if there are 20 people here tops, including all of you.
Is
it's
this like a
lot.
tweed jacket event? Does everyone have to be wearing tweed to get into the door?
Some people are very much wearing tweed. You see actually a couple of angels, which you're not too happy about, Bridget. And they kind of walk in and they're like, and kind of sit on the other side of the room. And you
Bridget
see,
just tucks herself in like one of the aisle seats on the opposite side in a corner, just looking a little sad.
you see the snake woman come in,
Nice.
sits up front. You see the little hedgehog guy is there. And a couple of sorted students and you guys.
Henry definitely gets there late with like an upside down map that Darcian left her.
Yeah,
You
I
find-
did want to mention
Oh,
that
go ahead.
I made Henry her own magic letter to receive.
Oh.
But yeah, I think Darcian is kind of there early, but does like the perimeter a lot. Is always checking like the snack tables and stuff. And I just
There is a snack table with yesterday's bagels cut in quarters.
Yep.
And like kind of
Holy
stale and
shit.
crusty. This is a typical academic
no,
event. Yeah, cut and
academia.
crusty, like kind of like gross. Because they
Not
got
a
a deal
good
on them.
lecture.
Like a vegetable platter, but you're really not too sure about whether or not you should engage in that dip.
Yeah.
Like the celery's kind of a little like wilty.
Yeah.
Engage
yeah,
with
it's
the
like-
dip.
There's tea, but it's not really hot. It's not really cold. And
It definitely was steeped too long.
yeah, this is like
It's funny
like-
because my upside down map says good food here.
so it's like
That was
this
how
is
I got
like
Henry here.
second tier, like food. It's second tier academic event. You do
Because
not
it's
see.
important.
Yep.
Because it's important to Darcian's whole thing.
Mhm.
They're currently wearing flowing dress robes that look almost like they flow like an extension of Darcian. And
Mhm.
what that means right now is that like Darcian's a little on edge, a little nervous. So they're like simmering. It's like, when you like see the bottom of a pot and it's not quite boiling yet, but it's
Yeah.
just like you just
Yeah.
see like
nice.
Those
cool.
are agitated.
and they're like a deep purple within like an iridescence like crow feathers.
Nice.
Istanbul likes watching you.
So.
So
you-
does Bridget. I'm like, Jesus, these people.
Darcian, I will say too that you would be the only person to know this. You do not see any high level Vances here at all.
Not surprised.
Not at all. And it gets close to the time, and I'll say that Henry, you probably like just make it on time, but nobody's there yet. And then like 5 minutes go by, and it's like 5 minutes late now. And then you're like, no, yeah, come on, no, come along, yeah. And like the door opens, and you see like what you would expect for a guy who's going to give this sort of speech, like short, kind of plump little guy, curly white hair, mustache. It's like, just like kind of like, like tweed jacket, just like disheveled looking, carrying
Mark
like all
Twain?
these. Yeah, Mark Twain, basically. Carrying all these papers and shit. And with him, he's just kind of tugging along this, like, I don't know, it kind of keeps changing when you look at it. It might be a little girl, it might be a little boy. One moment, it's like this beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girl. Actually, sorry, beautiful blonde-haired little girl. Next minute, she's darker. Next minute, it's a little boy. Next minute, it's, you don't know. Next minute, it's just like a swirling mass of stars. It's always a child, though, and it always has these beautiful, beautiful golden eyes. And he's just like, come along. Hello. I am so sorry, everyone. I am very late. I will get started in 1 moment. And he just kind of like drops some papers. And he's like, oh, shit. And he kind of like gets up everything, kind of puts it on his table. And he's like, now, Ipada, you must sit here and be a very good child. Okay. So, yes, Papa. Thank you. Okay, very good. Now, thank you all for coming. Yes. Look like you were about to say something, Frey.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, is this night or day? Whether
It
it's night or
is
day.
nighttime.
Is nighttime okay? So I have the same two spells I mentioned before.
Okay,
going on.
we'll say it's like 7:30ish, so early evening. I'll give you that as night.
Yeah, and I had popped it in chat, but before arriving, Bridget would have
We're
cast
casting our pre-buff spell
reputation
Yeah.
threat.
and using
yeah.
our longest rest that's useless
Sure,
for everything.
no
on that.
problem. No problemo. By the way, Rainey, we're gonna start here. Why don't you turn me over a card?
Ooh, okay, yeah. Let me do
Yay,
that.
Card. And I believe, if I'm correct, I'm pointing in the right direction. Yep, the cards will appear somewhere in the middle of the screen. Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
We'll go
Because
on-
it is small, it is the. Do you see it on your screen?
I don't see it. No.
Frey's dressed in ripped jeans, combat boots, and a leather jacket.
Oh, I see it.
The
I see
questing
it.
knight. Okay. Oh, this is an
Ooh,
apprentice.
Yes.
All right. So
the questing knight is the card that was flipped.
that is an apprentice of the empath.
Ooh, I'm an empath.
So bad news for you. -1 to all your actions.
Okay.
Awkward.
Yeah. That's the only
Jess,
one
aren't you
that it
isn't
affects.
Henry an empath too?
Yep, I'm an empath too. Oh, Sarah.
Hey, why is Spider-Man on the
Sarah
screen?
chat?
Spider-Man
Why
on the
Spider-Man
screen.
and
Oh,
Sarah?
because see, that's what happens. Like you sent me a Facebook message, and then like if I switch screens, it just
I
shows my
said
computer.
that forever ago.
I just noticed. Okay,
So
I'm like
-1.
you. I never fucking
-1 on all
reply.
of our actions.
All actions. Oh
Yeah.
goodness.
-1 all actions. Okay.
Yay.
So,
Damn
Carrie.
You
questing
sense
naive.
some headwinds in the currents of magic there, Darcian. As you're sitting here.
Is this considered a hex by any chance?
No,
Nope.
it's just it's bad
The
no
world
joke.
says
Okay.
no.
Yeah, the room definitely feels tense, and that feels right.
So he goes, sir, I must thank you all for coming very much, and I am happy to see some familiar faces and some unfamiliar faces. But today we will be, as usual, discussing time. What is time to us? Certain cultures in Shadow had believed that time is linear, meaning that it begins at point A and it goes far to point B. Other cultures had believed that time was circular, meaning that there was a wheel of the seasons and that things ultimately repeated themselves. Here in the actuality, we have decided that the creator had created the universe by casting a spell. The spell was cast some point into our future. Time is expanding. It's expanding forward. It's expanding backwards. Even as I stand here, there is more past behind us. There's more future ahead of us. Just first ask us the questions then. What is it to be? What is time? Is our past even real? Is our future real? Rapidly, we approach the point when the spell was cast. So we must ask ourselves, again, time. Is it circular? Is it linear? What is it? In the beginning, before I go further, Istanbul, I just wanted to give you one thing. As you're sitting here and you're listening to him, you're kind of just looking around the room and you get vibes from people, right?
Yeah, so I'm standing near the door, kind
Sure.
of trying to
Yeah.
obscure myself.
So, and I know
much
you
as
have to
possible.
leave very soon, so I'm
Yeah.
going to get to that. So you look at the little girl, Ipada, and normally you get vibes from people. You got nothing.
I
But-
find no truth about her or
You
anything like
find
that.
nothing. But then she looks in your eyes and you forget that.
Oh, the truth about her was nothing. Oh,
Interesting.
book.
But as he says, what is time? Somebody stands up, one of the students stands up in the front of the auditorium, and he says, time? Time, old man, what is time? Time is a treason that I give back to you now. And he kind of rips his jacket and clothes open, and you see within him, there's
Oh, boy.
nothing. There's just kind of like a skeletal structure, and there's nothing inside but a swirling mass of black, and he explodes. And the dark snakes just kind of flow all throughout the room
wow.
and just kind of go at people. And you see, so for instance, you see one of the angels was like sitting up front, and the snake just flows at and hits on the arm, and it just kind of like where it hits, its arm starts shaking and fluttering in the wind, almost as if like think of like a piece of like a plastic bag, like it would flow in the wind, and it gradually like moves
Like
up
the
his
Katy
arm
Perry song.
to its whole. Yeah, thanks. Right, and it to its talk about ruining the mood. Shit.
Sorry.
And it just kind of disintegrates and kind of blows away. The angel. And everywhere these snakes hit, someone just is disintegrated. One of the snakes flows right at Johannes and hits him in the leg.
Oh,
And he just starts screaming like, no, Ipada, Ipada! And it just hits him in the leg and he just falls and he's going down. You see other men stand up. They're all kind of dressed in the same kind of like, all of a sudden like trench coat. They weren't wearing them before, but like a trench coat and a hat. And they just kind of like
man.
swarm and they're going for Ipada and they grab her. You see 3 of them grab her and run while these snakes just like flow throughout the room. What do you do?
Interesting.
yikes.
And it is 8:46, Troy. So I'm going to say
Yeah.
this, Istanbul. I'd imagine you're going to go try to stop someone.
I'm pretty non-confrontational, to be honest. I do it for work. I would say
I was like, you're a bouncer.
yeah. I'll probably try to I'll probably try to tail them. I'm thinking I might find an object that I could easily animate and try to convince it to tail them for me.
Okay.
and then follow them. But
You
not
try
like,
to, but your leg
Yeah.
just gives out on you. Take a point of despair and get the fuck out of here because I know you have to get to work.
Okay, perfect. Alrighty,
And
guys.
mark
I'll
down
see
your
you soon.
despair. You can use that.
Bye,
And, yeah, have a
Troy.
great
Bye,
night, man.
Troy.
Be safe.
Okay, see ya. Oh, leave video on. You said right.
I was gonna
You
say
can
that
just
was
you could just
Perfect.
yeah.
All right, see you guys.
Now I'm
How
Troy.
did that happen?
Nope, now I'm
Wait, I'm
Jess.
still
I'm
Sarah.
instant. Just me and Rainy.
I'll just readjust this.
Excellent.
Hold on.
I'm
I'll
not
just
worried.
readjust
okay.
this.
That's
No,
okay.
no. I'll just readjust. It's gonna bother me. Hold on.
We're playing Invisible Sun. We are each other. This is fine. It makes sense. It's great. It works.
Oh boy.
Fine.
I was on edge this whole time waiting for some shit to go down. So I started moving as soon as shit started to go down, and I am gonna take chase with the people who grabbed the little girl.
All right. One
And
second
after
while
him.
I do this. Hold on.
Yeah, I have a question too.
Okay. 1 second.
I have a spell I would like to cast.
Yeah, same.
You think of those things while I fix this.
Okay.
I still
Christian
don't
is
know how
too
spellcasting
OCD
works, so
to
I
do
need
this.
help.
We're gonna wing it.
No. So the way
Wait.
spellcasting works is
You
that
just spend
you
sorcery and do the spell for most.
correct.
Okay,
Takes one action.
I could do that. Welcome to the chaos and professionalism of a DM's After Dark.
Whatever. It's appropriate.
review.
The world exploded. People are flapping away.
It's
Troy left,
fine.
and we
This
had
is a
a
very complicated game, also.
It is.
Also,
Yeah.
you're doing awesome, Christian. This has been
Oh,
so
thank
cool.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely been.
I have
So-
been horrified. I have been mesmerized. I have been tense.
Thank you so much.
Lots of
Jess.
things.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been really good vignettes, like getting this whole thing started for sure. And now I'm like, oh no.
I
Now
know. I'm like,
things-
wait, things are
So,
happening now
can
that
I-
I need to do something.
Can I show you guys? Because like
Oh,
I know
no.
all of you have been
Oh,
working
no.
on like your spells and stuff, and I know Amber, you're familiar with this and whatnot. But like I legitimately had to like cut out spells,
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're
put
like-
them in a little box.
Yeah.
and they're different sizes.
Yep.
And I only have
The game is insanely tactile.
this much space to put them in. So like if
Oh,
I
you must
prepare
have it really well.
spells, I can prepare just this spell because I have one option to flip, like cut this in half or whatever.
If you're
Like-
desperate, Rainy, you should look Christian dead in the eye, fold one of your spells in half, and put it in the box, and just be like,
Wow.
Yeah. This is
Wait,
my own.
I didn't realize you could cut them in half to fit them into the box.
Once you go up to a certain level.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so-
why.
My second order in Vance was I can fold one of my spells in half to fit it in the box. If I should have gone third order
just
because then my
roll
box
that
would have
bitch
gotten
into
bigger.
a tube.
Yeah. It doesn't say how many times I can fold it. Actually, it does. It says in half. So
All right.
No,
so
right-
Uh,
right now, these are the only two spells, Vance spells I have.
I mean, it's
room
interesting
for.
though, because you can fold it in half different ways too, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
long way or short way.
Yep.
If it's square, you can fold it in half on a diagonal. Don't know why you would, but you could.
Yeah, it doesn't.
If you could
doesn't
do it
me
more
any
than-
good.
Yeah.
all right.
that's
So
true.
building snakes. Snakes have flown across and hit several people, kind of like a grenade. The people have hit are flapping away. Some of them are gone. Some of them are up. Johan is fluttering away, but he's still up for now. He's just screaming for Ipada. Two guys have grabbed Ipada and just booked it, and a third kind of like stops, looks around the room, and is running out of the door. Who is doing what? I'll just start. Amber, you go first. We'll just go around because whatever. There's no initiative.
Yep. I am running as fast as I can after the people who grabbed Ipada. Like I'm leaping over bleachers, chairs, whatever the fuck these things are, auditorium chairs, and going right for him.
All right. He kind of takes one look, sees you coming, and just like
And I'm
Runs
whipping
out the
the
door.
sword that I have sheathed down my back out of my jacket.
nice. He sees that, but he just clocks that and just like books out the door.
Yeah, you better run, motherfucker.
Henry, what are you doing?
I am trying to kind of condense air and wind around myself and Darcy and to prevent the snakes from kind of flowing at the two of us.
Okay. So you're making a protection spell.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I'm gonna do level 3 for that.
Sure. Go for it. You got to roll. Right? You roll to do a weaver spell, right? Just to make sure it doesn't. Yeah. This is so hard.
I know, I don't know how it all.
Hold on. I got it here. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm
I'll-
looking at my spells and I'm like, I know what they do, but I don't know how to roll for them.
I'll say it again, and like I'm loving it. Like the tone and like
If it
just
so where it says level, it'll have the number. That's how much it costs in sorcery to cast.
So it
If
costs
says
a
plus one
3
die,
sorcery to
that
make
means
it.
you have to roll to do it. If it doesn't say like +1 die, that usually indicates that it is just an automatic effect that usually affects you, so you don't have to roll against an enemy.
Yeah, but as a
think-
weaver,
oh.
So I think I have to roll for duration. I think that it happens, but I have to roll for
how long you keep it up?
yeah, we'll go
Yeah.
for it.
Is
So
it
spend-
depletion? Is
spend
that
yeah,
three,
depletion,
And
exactly.
we'll
I have
say,
to roll
yeah,
for
we'll say,
depletion.
yeah, that's fine.
There's a whole chart of things that affect
Do
the
you-
cost of weaver spells that the GM has to look at and decide, like, how long do you want it to last, Jess? How long?
Yeah, well, that's the question. How long do you want it? Because that's what determines the level. How long do you want it to last, Jess?
What
Yeah,
does it
that
do? How long do you want it to last?
I think Darcian would look at Henry if that's the case, if she's gonna do a protecting spell,
Mhm.
and I would let her know, like, give me a few moments. I may be able to do something about this. Just buy us like a
Ooh, okay.
you know
Okay. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
few rounds, however you'd say that normally,
Okay.
Yeah, it would be a short duration anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why I upped it to level 3.
Okay.
And it's more than one person too, which is why I upped it again to a level.
That's awesome.
I upped it one level for longer than one
Now I'm
round,
like,
and
oh man,
upped
I
it
did not
another
pick
level
the
for another
best
person.
spells for this.
All right, so we'll just say it's a level 3 effect, and it's depletion 0, and you have to check every hour, every round. Or
Every
I'm sorry. So
round.
like every
Yep.
round,
Hey,
you just
Darcy,
gotta
and
roll.
I picked spells that make me
Yes.
an effective murder hobo.
Yeah.
So I
I'm
actually
running
have
to murder.
I have 2 spells to cast on my allies. Like this one says, the person I touch becomes tougher and hardier. They gain 3 Benny to their physicality pool. And I'm
Nice.
like, I literally took that for you and Troy. Like I took
Okay.
that to be like,
Nice.
big
Aw.
people go, But the one that I prepared for tonight, we'll see. Not so great.
So all right, so Jess, you start weaving this wind. What was it? I'm sorry, wind and what?
It's like wind and mobility.
Sure. So you wheel it together. These winds begin whipping around you, and you see one of the snakes is coming right at you, and it kind of hits that level of wind, and it kind of like gets spun around and dissipated. So it does protect you. Darcy, what do you want to do?
2 questions. One, are the snake explosions a spell?
Yes,
An ongoing spell? That is what these are.
it's going to be over soon, but yeah, there's only a couple of them
Oh, it's
left.
good. Oh, okay. And 2, how do incantations work? Is that an action?
Yeah, it'd be the same as casting a spell. You use it and it's gone.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because okay, all right. In that case, so I was either thinking I could do counterspell to cancel an ongoing spell, but it
Ooh.
requires 2 successes.
Ooh.
Or
Fancy.
huh?
I said fancy.
Or I have this Athrosal's vaporous coercion. But I don't think this is good. So I'm gonna attempt to counterspell. It is a general spell that I took. Let's see.
Oh God, I can't stop eating honey.
Yeah, I
so
started
good.
eating some because I saw you eat some. I've
I'm
eaten
four-
all
I'm
of mine
4
now.
teaspoons in of honey right now that I've just been sucking down like water.
Little honey sticks.
This
Um,
yellow one that you gave me was
okay.
terrible.
I'm going to I'm gonna
Lemon
cast
wasn't
counter
amazing.
spell.
Oh,
What is it says here, counter spell. It is a level 2
Blackberry
spell
Jess.
plus 1 die. So that means I
Mhm.
roll 2 when I attempt to
Mm-hmm.
okay. Cancel an ongoing spell, 2 successes required.
diabetic shock.
And the level of the spell that was the snake explosion is the challenge I have to reach.
5.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm also going to so how does this work? So
So you
I'm
spend
actually
stuff to reduce that challenge.
I'm also going to use improve spell and use 1 charge of my orb to
Okay.
gain
Also,
plus 2 to the
everything
level of the
is
spell.
plus 1 harder for you, so it's actually 6.
Okay.
Oh
Mm.
shit.
Yep, that's fair. But okay,
Mhm.
so I'm going to improve the spell with my orb.
Okay.
That's good.
So now you're
plus
back to
2
5.
level,
Okay.
plus 2 level. is
So now
what
you're down to
improved spell
4. Okay.
does. Okay.
Does the color of the sooth cards affect spells too if it has a color?
It does, yeah, but this one's like a suit card,
Different
so it
suit card,
doesn't
okay.
have that. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have a color on it. Okay, so I just have to roll what? 2 higher than 5?
2 higher than
Or-
5. Yep.
2 higher than 5? Oh boy.
Well, 5 or higher because you brought it to 4.
Oh, so 5 or higher or 4 or higher?
Wait, so it went up. Yeah, you're right.
It was
4 because you
6,
brought
yeah.
it down. It was 6. It's 4. I'm sorry. You're right.
Okay,
So,
so
is it meter beat?
Yep.
Or you have to go. Oh, okay.
okay, all right. So I didn't roll well.
Okay.
I rolled a 1
Mm-hmm.
and a 10, and a 10 is not
10
good,
is
right?
flux.
Oh.
10 is
oh.
flux.
If it's
Alright.
on the magic die.
Oh,
You have
Which,
to
yeah.
specify, which die is the magic die.
If you did
Ooh.
not specify, roll a 50-50.
Yeah,
Okay.
just roll a 50-50. Let's see if you got it. But
Okay. 3.
I mean, you have to
I'll
specify
give you
in
that
your
one.
mind if that works.
I'll
or
give you-
not.
I'll give you
Okay, in
that
that case, that's a
50-50.
fail. So let's flux. No, let's flux.
That's like
No, you
flip a
want the
coin.
flux?
Hey, what
Let's
is
play- yeah,
heads
let's
and
play
what is
dangerous.
tails?
Let's play
I'll
dangerous.
flux
Let's-
this
I gotta
shit
find my
up.
flux sheet.
I'm gonna flux this whole scene. up.
Flux it. Flux is fun.
You
Flux
fucked it up. Hold
So it's
on.
but
it
a
up.
10 is a success, right? So I have
Yep.
1 success so far. To
Wait,
cancel.
I don't
No,
think it's a
that's
no,
a
it's
0. It's a 0.
It's not.
Oh,
It
it's a
goes
0?
0 to
It's a
9.
0.
so I
yeah.
failed
What?
twice.
Yeah.
Where's my flux sheet? I know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Henry, I'm
Darcy
sorry.
Darcian just spills. You're
Um,
like, oh.
So what do
Hey,
I
at
do
least
for
it's
flux?
contained
Do I have
in
to
this.
roll again for flux?
Nope. I just get to pick something fun.
Oh shit balls.
Yeah, the more sortilege or dice you're using, like the bigger magic you're using, the bigger you flux.
Darcy,
Right? The bigger chance.
you go to cast this spell,
Yeah.
and you're like, I got this, and you panic a little bit because you see this snake kind of come over, but Henry like manages to block it with a shield that she wove, and you cast the spell, and instantaneously you know like something went wrong, and you look at your clothes, and they've become like very mildewy and just like gross.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna make them naked, like standing in
No,
front of the
just
class
like-
naked. Like what a great
Oh, that would have been
Oh,
good too,
no.
but I want to hit him where it hurts, like his nice clothes.
Oh,
Bridget, what
yeah.
are you doing?
So I am struggling to understand how this spell works. In terms of what I'm rolling. So what Bridget wants to do
Mm-hmm.
is she's going to cast Crown of Chains.
Okay.
And what she is, one of the actions that the chains can take is attempt to grasp a close being and hold them fast as if I were grabbing them with my own arms.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to lash a chain out and grab the little girl to keep her away from the
Ooh.
others.
Very good. Okay.
That is a level 3 cell, and it says +1 die. So what?
So
do
you
I
roll 2 die. All right. So you have the spell. You've cast the spell already. If I remember correctly, it does like 3 damage if you hit, but you can also lash on to someone.
There's different. So the's 4 different modes.
Are you just
the
sucking
one-
multiple honeys at a time? I'm sorry. I'm distracted.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, what are you doing?
Yes.
It's like mixing honey flavored.
The remnants
all
of the
mostly
honey. I
empty,
ate them
though.
individually. They're mostly empty, but there's a little bit of sweetness left in here, and
Okay.
I'm at it, man.
All right.
There are
Very
different modes. The one I'm picking does not do damage. It is just
Right.
grabbing and pulling.
I'm gonna say that would be like an accuracy sort of thing.
Okay.
Oh,
Is what I would guess. So I would say roll 2 die because you got a spell,
Yep.
and you need to roll over. These guys are 5,
Okay.
so you got to roll
So-
over 5 to get them.
Because when you say that based on the scenario in this room that Darcy is physically close to Bridget,
Sure.
that gives me a +1 to my roll
Okay.
because of our relationship.
Okay.
And my accuracy pool has +1 enhancement. That means I get another +1.
You
That
can.
means you get another die.
You get another dot. You get another. Yes, that's right.
So I
So
have
she can-
3 dice.
Oh shit.
Right? Because it's the spell says
Mhm.
+1. I roll
Yep.
a base 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I pick 1 to be my magic die in case
Mhm.
it picks up.
2, I think, to be a
2,
magic die. The
Because
enhancement
Okay.
you
for
can
magic
really
die.
flux this up.
Okay, so yellow is going to be normal, pink and orange are going to be flux.
And you need to roll over a 4. Right? Because.
So good news and bad news.
Mhm.
One of my dice was a 6.
Okay.
One of my magic dice was a 0.
All right. So
Minor
you
flux.
succeed. You succeed because it wasn't a magical thing you had to overcome. And so you lash out a chain. It wraps around Ipata's leg. And I will say that the gentleman is still holding her. But as you do that, there are lights, like kind of like there's a chandelier of lights and other lights around. And as you lash out, whatever it is about this magic that it's demonic, the Memorial Hall for the Study of Angelic Incantation doesn't like it, and all the lights just kind of like flicker and go out.
Oh,
So it's dark now, but you've
Oh,
flashed,
better for
no.
me, baby.
that's not.
you've
good for
flashed
me.
around her, and it's kind of a tug of war. You can probably maybe yank her away next round.
Okay.
They get to go.
Can I just do a minor flavor thing?
Sure,
Can I have it be around her waist and not her leg? I don't want to
Sure.
drag a child
That's
by the
fine.
leg.
that's fine. You manage to get.
Okay.
I'll say he's got her like kind of like picked up like this, and she's kind of like hanging,
Okay.
and you lash her on the leg because you
I
just
just-
grabbed her.
Yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
don't want to just grab her by the leg. It might hurt her.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to do that in the episode where we literally serve baby back ribs. So,
Guys, like-
Bridget's nice.
We could be like we could be like rescuing this child from their savior. Like these could be the good guys. We don't know.
you don't know. You do not know.
Good guy,
This is
bad
true.
guy. I'm unconcerned with this. These are the guys I'm after.
Fair turn. People are panicking. I will say that the snake spell goes out. It doesn't affect any of you guys. The one in the doorway sees that this is going on, and he sees Frey running up, and he just kind of like snaps a finger, and you see something kind of like come up out of the ground that looks like it's not there. It looks a little bit like kind of like, you know, if you're looking at a fire and like these little licks of flame kind of like jump up in the air and like they're very quickly gone. It looks like almost like one of those licks of flames, but it also is a little bit shaped like a woman, and it's just kind of like floating there in front of him. And he kind of just like points right at Frey with that. And the other one of them's gone. He's outside, so we won't worry about that. We'll say that was his action. The other one comes back in and just kind of draws a knife. And stands
this
stands
bitch.
by the girl. Yep. And then the third one is trying to fight with Bridget. What are you gonna do, Frey?
there's this ghost thing coming after me.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can kill it or not with my sword. What do I know about ghosts living in a cemetery with the undead? Can I hit them with swords? Like, I don't know how this works in Visible Sun.
Some of them you can, some of them you can't.
Okay, interesting. I am going to try to ignore this fucking ghost or maybe I should cast. You know what? I will cast Conjured Casement on myself. I armor up.
Okay.
And that would be my action. And I will continue to move closer to the ghost thing or try to move around it ish to get closer to the dude, cast it, whichever I can do.
Okay. People are screaming again. You hear in the background, you see Johannes, like, the thing has gone up his leg and now his whole waist is like flapping away. And he's like, you must save her! You must save her! Ooh, that sounded like Thomas a little bit. That wasn't a German accent.
It's
but
been
that's-
Thomas like the whole
No,
time.
that was a German accent. It was
Always
not Thomas.
been
Falcon.
Thomas.
What was it though?
It's
Fuck you
always
guys,
Thomas
okay?
in our hearts. It's always a little Thomas.
Henry, what are you going to do?
I am going to breathe a rune into my circle magic protecting thing. Hopefully it'll flow over to Rainy and it'll give him a +1 on his next action.
Okay.
Belts is at the card.
Land
Yeah,
on
there you
his
go.
forehead just like his stupid sticky note on mine.
Yes! It just lands right on his orb. I like
Oh,
it.
yeah, there you go. Boom.
Right to the orb.
Right in the orbs.
Darcian?
All right. So, would you say that I'm still close to these three that have
Yeah.
the little girl?
I'll give you close.
Okay. Now, this is the other spell I prepared, so I'm going to cast it. Here it goes. I actually look at Henry and I say, "Thanks. Stay in this. Stay in your dome of protection." Right.
Stay in my
still up.
orb.
Stay in your orb. I got yeah. So I'm going to step out of it towards the others,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, I think
you
mine-
see.
Go ahead.
Oh, can I step out of it?
I was gonna say I think it should be able to move, but maybe not actually. Continue.
I'm telling you to protect yourself, really. So like,
Yeah.
I step out of it, like, and I'm trying to look menacing as Darcy, as much as
Mhm.
Darcy can look. menacing.
In your
And
moldy clothes.
they step out of this in my moldy clothes. Hey, maybe that is a little more scary than my robes, right? And I walk out looking disheveled, looking pissed at the fact that I look disheveled.
Mhm.
And that simmering is now a boil, like a rapid, angry boil.
And the room, just for flavor, the room has gone dark. The only thing that's lighting it is this ghost figure that's like flamey, like large candle. So it's basically like dim light.
Okay.
I won't give you any penalties, so if you can tell who's who, but it's like dim light.
Well, so here's the thing.
Flashing.
I don't think it matters if I know who's who. What happens as I approach this flame-like ghost as well, I'm a water person, so this makes sense. I'm going to cast Athrosal's Vaporous Coercion.
Mm-hmm.
And the boiling of of Darcian's skin literally starts emitting a blue mist from my body as vapors of like my watery self begin just like emitting from my body. And it says, I weaken the will and resolve of those close to me as I emit a blue mist from my body. The mist gives creatures an irrational fear and dread, reducing their resist defense as well as their resistance to conventional intimidation by 2. So basically, I'm just trying to be terrifying and stop people in their tracks. Hopefully, maybe that helps Frey. I don't even know.
So that helps. Yeah, I'll give you that one. What level spell is it?
5.
Okay. Yeah, you notice it kind of like the flames flicker a little less, and you see the guys too. They're kind of like look at you like, what the fuck is this moldy guy doing? And
This moldy ass
and it
bitch.
kind of you see it has an effect.
But then, yeah, like the blue mist kind of begins like circling around them, and maybe they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's what you get. They're just kind of like, what the fuck is this?
And so it does say depletion 0 check each round.
That's next. Oh, by the way, Jess.
Oh, yeah, I
forgot that.
just rolled mine. I was just thinking that. I was like, I forgot to roll. I got a
cool.
4.
Cool,
Yep,
cool,
so you'll roll at the end of every round, and when you roll a 0, the spell ends.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Bridget,
She's gonna try and pull the kid.
I would
I don't know
say
what to roll.
physicality, like your strength.
Okay.
What do you think,
Sorcery?
Amber?
It's a spell, sorcery.
Is a
Yeah,
spell. You could roll your sorcery too. You could always add sorcery
is
to
it-
anything anyway.
But is it the strength of the chain, which is the spell, or well?
Yeah. Why not?
So right
Do you have the
now,
level of spells to checks you make with the spell?
Yeah, you do. So what is the level of the spell?
3.
Okay.
Starting
It
out
was
of
a
plus
fu-
3.
So it was a 5. So you need to roll a 2 or over to get it away. Get
Okay.
the child away from.
And I have a +1 because Darcy is in the room.
So you get a 2.
Oh,
You got to roll a 2
nice.
or over.
Oh,
And
that's
do I
right. Wait.
Because
So
you
am I
want to look
supposed
good.
to be
You want to
getting-
look good in front of your moldy love interest.
Yeah, my cute multi crush.
Are you gonna stand right next to me while you do this?
Well, she's not right. I assumed like in the same.
Oh, that's right.
room.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was gonna say
Maybe
'cause I get
Darcy
a-
just stepped up near you. And
well,
you're
no,
like,
I get a free movement to move away from.
oh, no.
No, Bridget doesn't move towards Darcy, and no, she's not gonna try
That's
to make it
hilarious.
obvious. What?
Oh, that is hilarious.
She would never. What? So okay. So this is with the spell again. So this is the 3 dice again, or is it just 2 because it's physicality?
No, it should be this.
This is a very confusing game.
Just do the 3 dice. I'm not
Okay.
looking anything up. Yeah.
And 2
You
are
just
magic
need-
dice. Same
yeah.
as last time.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna say yellow is normal.
Okay.
Okay, so on one of my dice, I rolled a 4. And one of my magic dice was again a 0.
Woohoo. So much flux.
Destroying this entire.
We
and
are
then do I have
fluxing
to
it
roll
up.
again for depletion?
What's the depletion?
Didn't we
Sometimes-
say on that spell it
sometimes
just
it's
let
per
on that
card.
spell? What does it say on the card?
Yeah, it should tell you if there's depletion. on the card.
It says depletion 0. Check each round. I just don't. know
Yeah.
if
So
the
just
timing's
roll
correct.
this round. Just
Yep.
roll now to see if it.
Oh, we're good. It was a 2.
Okay. Let's see.
So she's basically just trying to use the crown's change to pull the child towards her. So
You
she
do?
can, like, pick
And
her
you
up.
manage to just yank Ipata right out of the hands, but just kind of like gently, like one of Dr. Octopus's like tentacles, just kind of like bring
Thank
her
you.
over, set her on her feet right next to you. As you do again, you just hear this like howl, and the glass, like they had a nice glass, like tea and coffee like thing set up on the food tray, just shatters. And like coffee and tea just like spills all over the place. You get some tea on you.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I've had tea thrown at me before. It's fine.
Their turn. Everybody who is close to the strange flamey woman, which is all of you, you all get one Benny to whatever thing you want.
What?
What?
One Benny to whatever thing I want.
Everybody gets a Benny to add to whatever pool they want.
So can I replace one in one of my pools or no?
Yeah. You can add it to anyone you want.
Wait, it's a permanent Benny?
No, but you just get
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
You feel as you say you see her and there's something very like almost seductive to her. Like you'd want to like you're just kind of like drawn to like stare at her and you feel very like drawn into
Like a moth to the flame.
correct.
Bridget catches Darcy and looking.
Correct.
Ah!
Correct, Amundo. So that just kind of automatically happens. The guy who the child get dripped out, he ain't
Better
happy
run,
about
bro.
that. And
He ain't happy about that.
Yeah, no shit.
He ain't happy about that, and he just sees some magic words, and his fingers just elongate into serpents that flow right at you, Bridget. Give me a dodge defense roll.
The next time I have reputation of threat up, it automatically so the next time I am attacked, because I said I'd cast it before I got here.
You did, that's correct.
The attack is transformed to something harmless. So can I say that the snakes come out and about to reach her, and then there's just this like shadow that passes over her face, and as it does, they just turn into little tiny pool noodles.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're like the snakes from the can of nuts trick. They're just like,
Yes! Yes!
Poof. Yeah, fine. You do that, and he's just like, shit,
ha.
shit.
Somewhere in the
Good
back
stuff.
of her mind, one of the demons just like, "You're welcome."
Mm. I was gonna say, you also get +1 to everything when I'm close. So if you ever have to.
The one with a knife is
Knife
coming
man.
right at you, Frey.
Oh
Bro.
So
boy.
you need
Come
to
at
give
me,
me a dodge defense.
Dodge,
Man
dodge,
with
dodge,
knife.
dodge.
Dodge
Coming at
against the
woman with
5.
Giant
Dodge,
sword.
dodge,
dip,
dodge.
dive, and dodge.
Shield stoner.
Nailed it. Got a 6.
All right,
yeah.
you managed to just kind of swish out of the way of it. So that's no
I roll
problem.
I roll an extra die on everything at night while I have nyctophobia running.
Nice.
Nyctophilia running. It's so good.
That's awesome.
like
And last but
That's
not
pretty
least,
awesome.
Rainy,
Yes. Oh,
Moth
goodness.
Flame person is not very happy about you trying to put the flame out.
Yeah.
And she just like reaches out to touch you.
Oh boy.
Give me a dodge action for 5.
Okay. Oh goodness. I do have one in my dodge skill. So what does that mean?
That means you have a +1 to your die roll.
Okay, so I just add +1 to this, and I just have to roll a 4 or higher.
But you unfortunately also have a -1 to all
Minus
your
one.
things. So
Oh,
Oh, but you have a
Yes.
+1 for my rune.
so, okay, so
Back
yes, you back
check,
up.
baby.
There
Right
you
there.
go.
All right, so I just need a 4 or higher.
Yep.
Nope, I got a 2.
Okay, so
Oh no.
I can't roll d10s.
you
It's
take
a-
5
it's my-
damage.
Oh my.
Ooh.
I
What do I?
just
Where's
That's
my
straight up
health?
5 damage.
So
That
you
injury
have-
wound?
Yeah, so you
But
get
5. Yep.
So it's 5. So it would be
So definitely soak. You're going to use your physicality to soak one of
correct.
those
So
wounds.
spend a physicality to soak a wound, and then you would
That
take.
gets rid of 3.
Yep.
So now you're taking 2 injuries.
So you
I
take 2
only have
injuries.
2 physicality to go, so okay.
Well,
So
no,
I'm
you
done.
spend one penny. You spend 1 physicality penny to get rid of a wound.
One
which is
wound.
3 of the damage points.
3
Oh,
damage.
okay,
So every time
okay.
you get 3 damage points, it's a wound.
Mhm.
And wounds are really bad.
So now I
I
don't
don't
have a
remember why.
wound.
Correct.
I
You don't
just
have a
have
wound,
2 damage
but
You
you
have 2
just have the
injuries.
injuries.
Yeah.
So you should have like
Okay.
a tract that's basically like 9 boxes in a cube.
Yep. So you have 3 injuries, 3 wounds, and 3 angles.
Oh yeah. There they are. Yep.
But she reaches
Right.
out to you, and it's like a flaming touch. It kind of your skin almost kind of like boils at it because it's very very hot. And you hear this like whispering as she touches you, but it's just like, come with me, follow me.
Okay. All right. Not good. Not good.
No.
Don't like it.
No. But it's back to you guys. So, Frey, what are you going to do?
I am gonna fucking. I have my sword in hand. I charge that baby up the edge, just like it just shines like this very hair thin line of luminescent white, and I'm gonna wail on this guy with the sword here.
The
Brace
guy.
yourself, baby.
Okay.
The guy just stabbed at me. Yep.
Go for it. Yep.
Fuck this fucker. I have
Fuck
3
this
dice
fucker.
with my sword because I have guided hand and it's nighttime. With a +2.
Yeah,
It's
autocorrect
it's
in
not
chat.
plus on anything.
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee. So that is a 9 to hit.
You got him. Is a large weapon.
Fuck this guy. It's a medium weapon. It's
Okay.
small enough to hide under a coat, but people can probably observe it if they're really careful because it's a sword.
Right.
It does 9 damage.
So you slice right through him, and it's
guy.
instead of like slicing, because you know about slicing through meat more than a lot of people here, especially human meat. But you slice through him with this sword, and it kind of goes through him almost like as if it was like sand. I guess is the best way to describe it. And he kind of just like falls apart and disintegrates, almost as if it's black sand that just kind of blows away.
All right, these fuckers. I hate them. I need to take one alive.
No scream. He just poof. Henry, what are you gonna do?
Oh gosh.
Your friend is getting
I know.
boiled away by a flame woman.
I mean, I don't actually know if this is gonna work, but I am gonna take Darcian's kind of blue mist and kind of surround it around him and turn it into like this really dark lightning cloud thunder shape behind him and kind of just make him look really nightmarish and menacing, and try to intimidate this ghost by making Darcian look more intimidating.
So that does combo with
Yeah.
their resistance to conventional intimidation is reduced by 2. So if that matters.
So would you say you're trying to cause a creature to flee?
Yes.
That would be a level 3 effect.
Okay.
So
I do think I have to roll to figure out like
Yeah.
if it works or not, but I
I would
don't
say
know
this. So
actually
we'll
what
say
I
that
rolled.
that's a level 3 effect. We'll
Okay.
give you the spell that Darcy set on it. And you need to roll. Let me get the stats for it.
So I spend 3 sorcery.
You need to
Okay.
spend. You need to roll over a 5.
But
But
I
you
roll
take the
1
3
die?
You roll 2 because it's a spell, right, Amber?
Yes, if the vehicle of your action is magic, you
magical.
get 2 dice.
So you roll 2.
2.
It's a base 5, but it's a level 3 effect, so you have to roll twice over 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and then I have to roll twice over 2.
2 dice.
That's why you get 2
And
dice.
you have to designate one as a magic die.
Yep. And then can I spend 1 swordlich to get a bonus die? Is
Yeah, you can.
that I don't know how this works.
So now you have 2
Okay.
magic die. Track them both.
Okay. All right.
And as long as
So-
you have 2 of 3 successes, you'll succeed.
Yep,
Okay, I got 2 5s and a 1.
you got it.
Yep.
And my orb depletes. My protection orb is gone.
Okay, so you drop your
I
protection
don't
orb.
actually know if I can maintain spells at the same time. Does that matter?
We'll say you drop
I
it just
hope
for flavor.
Yeah.
So you cast your spell, and give me some flavor. What happens?
It's just like this like mist around him forms into a dark, thunderous lightning cloud behind him and kind of cloaks over him. And you can't, since it's really dim, you can't really see very much except when the lightning kind of cracks and it shows like the anger and like upsetness on his face, but he's really just in pain from being attacked. But it's just shadowed in the right way. And the cloud form kind of just looks like this large, nightmarish creature behind him, cloaking him.
Whatever this thing is, and you get the impression that this probably wouldn't like care as much with about things as often, but something about that spell Darcy cast definitely helped. and it kind of just it's like it pauses
Makes
for a
them look
minute.
tougher than her.
And you can't. It doesn't really have expressions
thank
or
you.
anything like that. But you get a body language vibe of it, kind of like backing off, and then it just kind of like it flickers away, like one of those flames.
Oh, interesting.
Like the way a flame will leap in the air and just flicker away. It flickers away. Darcy, what do you want to do?
So who's left here?
You got two guys basically.
two guys. Is one of them the one who cast this flame lady?
Yes.
Okay, so Darcian's the crackling lightning of the blue mist that has turned into like a thunderhead cloud, right?
Mhm.
That is making them look even more intimidating than they were, which was not much, but enough in the moment. Is compounded by the like what Darcian looks like, that boiling now just goes like you watch it just freeze into like an angry, cold, frozen just stare as they take a few steps forward, and they've been walking with a cane this entire time. And from the cane, they just pull out a sword and just stab at the person who cast this, which is probably terrible because I don't have physicality at all. But this is just desperation and angriness.
Physicality has nothing to do with
you're
your
going
choice.
after
Don't worry.
the big guy, if you will.
Yeah, sure, the big guy.
Okay, roll.
What?
Do you have weapon proficiency, weapon skill in anything?
No.
Okay, so you're rolling a flat check right now. You can probably add Benny from accuracy to hit.
Yeah, you can add Benny from accuracy to it.
Okay,
okay.
so
You can also
I
expend
would
hidden
not
knowledge
know
on
You
physicality.
also have actually never mind. I'm sorry, forget it. I was gonna say something about the extra Benny. The extra Benny you got from the Flame Girl is gone. Forget that. Flickers away, by the way.
Oh,
noted. Okay, so okay.
gross.
Oh.
You can also use
wait,
hidden
but if I
knowledge
spent
for like a free Benny on anything, basically. Hidden knowledge doesn't refresh.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, why not? We're not playing too long. I'll use one hidden knowledge. That brings me up to.
You know a thing about hitting these things.
Yeah, I've stabbed at.
You
things
remember
before.
you remember a book you read on fencing, and you're like, oh, just like so, ha.
Yes, that is exactly it. It's my footwork is in with the appropriate. So I'm using one Benny from accuracy. I'm using one from hidden knowledge,
Yeah,
and
+2.
huh?
So you've got a +2 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't think I can really swing anything else. Hold on.
You could add sortilege if you want an extra die, but
I
you've
can.
been fluxing every chance you get.
I can also use a charge from my orb to add +1 die to a physical action. Does that
Yeah.
count?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
physical action, sure.
Okay. All right, that's all I'm gonna be able to do. So I get +3 to this. What am I trying to beat?
Then -1, right?
Nope,
Damn it.
Jess's runes.
No,
you're
my
stop.
rune already
Oh,
is used up.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, +1. You got to be to 6.
Thanks a lot, Bridget.
You saw Frey go up there and smoke this guy with the sword, and you're like, I got a sword too. You got really excited for it.
So I'm +2, and I gotta beat a 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to roll a 4 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I got a 5.
Hey!
And
So
specifically, you were going after the big guy behind
The
her.
big guy who cast this flame lady.
Okay. So you remember, you're like, oh, I don't do this much, but I got my sword cane, and I remember that fencing manual I met, and you just like perfect lunge, and you just like right in the chest. And again, it feels like it just sinks in the sand, and he's just like, and looks right at you.
Cold precision turned into cold fear.
Bridget, what are you gonna do?
My chains are still up and about, so I am going to flick one out at the other guy, not the big guy, the other one. So we're just taking down the crowd.
Okay.
And if I hit, it'll do damage equal to the spell's level, which is 3.
Okay.
And same roll. Okay, so yeah, on my highest die was an 8. So 9 hit, and I didn't roll any flux.
Nice. All right. So the chains. What are the chains? Like we're talking like spawn chains with like spikes on them.
So it's literally like a crown of like beautifully intricately designed metal chains. Think almost like chainmail.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she shoots one out, a couple of layers of them like wrap around each other, so it becomes thicker and just like slams into his chest.
Sure. I'm gonna say it doesn't slam in his chest. It actually wraps around his neck and just.
Yeah, that works.
And again, same, just like this sand effect where he just kind of like falls apart and disappears.
And then I'm gonna roll to see if it stays. That is a 0, so the crown of chains is now gone.
Okay. Their turn. The boss man kind of just like
Darcy.
he's got a sword sticking out of his chest, and he looks around and he looks right at Frey, and he goes, "Hello, Frey. Such a long time no see.
If you fucking run, you coward.
I don't think I'll let you catch me this time." And he just kind of like dissolves. And as he dissolves, he actually dissolves into like little black moths or flies is almost like what it seems like. And it just
He
kind of
is
like
a
just
Mothman!
breaks apart and flies away. And as he leaves, there's a whisper in the wind. And the whisper is, "This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but a whisper." That's where we'll stop.
Ooh, okay, all right.
Nice.
Okay.
I see.
And now we have
This
a strange
fucker.
little angel girl to question.
Yep.
Is that right?
Fuck, we didn't get any of the enemies to question, so I guess we have to fucking question their targets. Why do they want you?
And Johannes is not around anymore.
He's gone.
All
Frey
right.
just starts yelling
Nobody
at this child.
talked to him.
Why do they
I
want
will
you?
actually say
No.
that. Remind me
Oh,
of this.
that's
I'll make a
true.
note now, but I'll give Troy's character a moment while all this is going on to talk with Johan.
Johannes.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
that
he's
seems like a very
That's a
Troy
good
thing to
idea.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
very
That's what
cool.
we'll say he did during this fight when his leg gave out on him.
And also,
He's just laying here with a guy whose leg is also disintegrated.
He's like, "I'm disintegrated." He's like, "I've got a
Just
gimpy
two
leg, bro."
guys
Just-
with one
Those
leg.
two bros, two bros, one leg.
two
bros
guys,
with leg.
two good legs all together. Guys, don't worry. Next week, it's going to be what I'm actually good at, not fighting.
Yay. It's okay. I'm only good at fighting. Fucking 9 damage. Smoking
That was
these guys.
fucking insane.
So
Yeah.
good.
I
That
tried
was really
so
awesome.
hard to help you.
It could be higher if I'd went with a big sword, but I was like, practical reasons. I need to be able to at least have a chance to get this into places.
I do actually have a sword, but Bridget was just like, I'm just gonna not carry a sword.
Everybody has
around.
swords. I also have an axe.
Fuck yeah.
For chopping meat.
I was going to say
I
much
use the
more
sword
efficient
tonight because it's easier
butchering.
to smuggle flat down the back than an axe is like at the hip, but
Also, I did this by accident in terms of assigning eye colors to the demons, but I'm really happy that I do have dice of each color of the eyes.
That is really
So
cool.
I did the
Great.
eye colors like 2 weeks ago, and then I was like, do I have matching dice? And I do.
It's perfect.
I'm very happy.
So there you
fucking
go.
apostates make the best gishes. Gish.
I have to remember Darcy and they. They.
I'm trying to be
There.
better at it, but I feel
Yeah.
like there.
You're doing all right. Do you want me to put it on your thing for next time?
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'll get it. Don't worry.
It's all good.
This is good.
Okay.
If you put it on your instead of your name on the Zoom, I don't think everybody else can see it on the thing, but we can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah,
can
I
do that there. Absolutely.
Darcy and they, yeah.
Good idea.
Well,
So,
thank
I don't
you,
know. How do we do?
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining the chaos.
Start killing.
Okay. I did a
That's
lot of
the
things
roll.
wrong.
No, you
All
didn't.
learning.
I mean, it's okay. This is a very complicated game. There's a reason that didn't continue in my home game.
Yeah. You didn't. You didn't.
It's
It
cool.
is,
It is just it's a lot to me.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
ton. It's a ton to remember.
If you have
and
option paralysis too, like it's not a good game for you. There's so
Yeah.
many cards, so many
There's
options.
a lot of choices.
You know, I actually find this option stuff easier though than D&D.
So,
No,
see, this is what I mean
readers-
when I say sometimes you say things that I'm just like, what? Because it's like you hate RPGs, then you're like, oh, it's D&D, and this is like the most complex thing.
No,
That's
no.
like-
No, system wise, I think D&D is better. But I just mean like option wise, like everything is
Okay.
a list that I can like look at. It's not as complicated as
Fair.
feats where I need to.
I
The
understand
lists
that
don't
point now.
No, Jess, but the lists don't tell you anything, and the names of the things are not intuitive. So
Well,
how does it
this
tell you
is true.
anything?
Wait for Invisible Sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're obscure names that don't
Yeah.
necessarily tell you
Sure.
what the
Not-
spell
not
does, and there's
really.
no description next to them. And
But
I mean,
you-
this could be because I haven't picked like my ephemera and incantation.
God
But
damn
this
it,
is the
yes.
thing where like Jess is talking about the one thing that she does enjoy about this, which is weaver spells, which is where you
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Weavers
break it
are
up.
awesome.
like
Absolutely.
she enjoys the narrative aspect of spellcasting in the otherwise crunchy game. And the thing
Yeah.
about that is that there are plenty of games where
Where
you
it's
can
all
just make
narrative.
up magic narratively. We will get Jess to play a narrative game, and she will go,
I'm not good at
"This
that
is
either.
so much better than the games I play."
Broccoli Princess will like it.
I can't wait, Jess. You're running excellence, right?
I
Soon,
read the
right?
whole thing, Rainy. It's great.
I know the
It's
princess. I
so
know
great.
exactly the princess I'm
Victory.
going to play too.
Oh, you read it and you didn't
No.
hate it?
Yeah, no, it was really easy to read and it was really, really fun to read. And it
Jess
was
found
great.
a role-playing
It's
book
great.
that
I don't
was
think I'm gonna run that next. I don't think I want it to be my first game, but I do
Okay.
really like it. It's on my list of
What was it?
Excellent.
excellent.
The princess,
game.
Oh,
It was
fuck
great.
Yeah.
It was so great to read.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So 2 weeks we'll be back to continue this chaos on the 20th. And I don't know. I guess I have a lot to be sorry for because there was cannibalism, starving children, bad
list isn't
poetry, T.S. Eliot. And,
The starving children are just gonna become citizens of the Pale. Don't worry.
Oh, they live. They have to live so he can keep torturing them. They're just fed just enough.
That's worse.
Slicing open
He's a
and,
demon.
Like, grilling some brain.
He's-
Yeah.
Bridget is nice. Her boss is not.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. Bad German philosophers, bad German.
Bad
That was great.
accent.
No,
Oh,
that
that's
was
an
horrible.
nickname.
I love the accents. It was great.
At least you committed to an accent. I didn't
great.
give Darcy anything.
You got to commit if you're doing it, man. So, all right. So, I don't know, Sarah, do our thing.
I was like, are you
I don't
taking
have
me
anything
on
else to
this
say.
side?
I don't know what to say.
Thank you, everyone, so much for watching or listening to this week's episode of DMs After Dark. If you like what we do here, follow us. That's free. If you want to subscribe, you can. You can give us Jeff Bezos' money if you have the Amazon Primes, and that takes money away from him and gives it to us. And so, like, that's fun.
Redistribution of wealth.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good thing.
It's good. It's great. You can find us on all of the social medias at DMs After Dark. We are also under DMs After Dark on all of your favorite podcast apps. Every single one of them, we're that good, where we have audio versions of this show as well as our regular podcast modified roles. You can email us if you'd like at dmsafterdark@gmail.com. I'm sort of sorry this week, but like not just normal.
Only a little bit.
Yeah. Only a little sorry. I have nothing to
Some
be
of us
sorry
were distracted by spell cards for a little bit, mostly me. So that's
Yeah.
Like
fine.
just
Right.
you.
Are those? I
Sorry.
would thank you for the corgi bits. Those are so
Aw,
cute.
thank you.
Oh, much love.
Next week there will be more chaos as there will be less distraction.
Yeah, and maybe we'll learn how to play this game.
Why do we
Working on
need
it.
to learn how to play the game? We're
Yeah,
doing
to be
fine.
fair, it's a role-playing game, and any role-playing game, you can basically arbitrate and resolve anything any the way the fuck you all agree to, because
Mhm.
it's
Yep.
Yep.
Hey,
Like, here's a
that's
perfect
something.
example of something I talk about all the time on modified roles. Don't stop playing the game to look at the book. Just make a decision and fucking move on.
And it's something we talked about in the modified rules that dropped today. Homebrew campaigns.
Yep.
Use what rules you
look
want.
at
as
us.
long as it's moving the narrative forward, it
Yep.
ain't wrong.
Rule of
That's right.
cool, baby.
That's right.
All right.
Well, have a good night, everyone, and stay weird.
Yeah.
Stay weird.
Good night. Stay surreal.
I was gonna say stay hungry.
What's night? Just stay
am.
hungry.
I'm starving.
when the arm just grabbed the spatula and that noise Kristen made.
Yeah,
I was
Kristen had some
the
good
arm is
sound
my favorite
effects.
character right
Thank
now.
you.
Like,
We stand the
that is a
arm.
whole mood, and like I get it. I'm there.
Yeah, actually.
It doesn't even have a name. It's
can-
just the arm.
Yeah, we are the arm. We are the children.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
into